239. Welcome to the Faceoff. As you see here, we have three beautiful, and when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful casters with you. Let's go through them. You got Anderson, or Mr. Anderson himself. You have none other than Sober Enough. He was never sober enough for anything. And then you have myself, Young Kelch. Now, we normally have four people here, but one of them's busy playing goalie, and it's an absolute bum. You know him as the man who doesn't like to show his face. Blue Line King. What's it? Blue Line King 7. There you go. So, before I do anything, obviously the season is now officially underway, and I want to go ahead and just pass it around to you guys. Sober, I'll start with you. How are you doing tonight?
Working on a buzz.
I mean, it is Friday night. You got Friday night drunk puck probably soon after this is done.
Should be.
And you're going to show off your goalie skills, I hear? Is that a thing?
Hopefully not.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you are the best goalie in the panel right now.
Shut your hole.
All right, Anderson. Next, go ahead, bud.
Oh man, pretty much the same thing. Helping Sober out, partying it up in here on a Friday night. A couple of losers drinking by ourselves at home. Ready to talk some 239 puck. Ready to do it.
And I'll round us out. Obviously, boys, girls, we are in quarantine week. What are we? Week number 4. So for those of you that are not essential workers, you're stuck at your house. You have nothing better to do besides play 239 hockey and drink. Okay, so we approve this message. Now let's talk about Season 15 sponsored by COVID-19. First and foremost, I have to make this cast look a little bit better. So I'm just going to rock this all fucking game, or all night game. Jesus Christ, I'm drunk. As you can tell.
So
absolutely fucking shit-faced.
So you got water, you got a box of tissues.
Yeah, you know, just in case if anything goes haywire. And you're a dumb bitch. There we go.
I think what you should do is hang that belt on the headboard and just...
Yeah, it'll get there eventually, because we're not going to fix this like 17,000 times throughout this show. But at some point, we will. You know, maybe I'll put it on the other shoulder. That looks better.
I mean, I really do want to make fun of you, but I mean, that's our championship belt, so fuck it, wear it proudly.
Look, it's hard. It's hard to make fun of someone when they're a champion. Now, like, after this season, it's going to be so easy to make fun of me again. But we're gonna talk about some things here before we actually get any further. So let's start with, I don't know, what do we want to start with? What topic do we want to start with? I personally want to talk about something that's brand new to the league, so let's go there. Let's talk about the series of the week. Okay, a great decision by some admins to figure out how to get some new livelihood or new action, so to speak, in the middle of this epidemic we're in. So I want to not butcher his name, so I will pull up Discord to get the name correct here, unless anyone of you have our beautiful commentator's name.
It's Farbsy.
Farbsy is the correct way to say it? Because that would be great if
at Farbsy. I think his first name was Drew. I can't remember. That I could be wrong, but
I'm confirming regardless.
His tag is at Farbsy.
Yeah, okay. That's it. So Farbsy is going to be doing play-by-play for a series of the week, each week for the foreseeable future for 239 Hockey. How the series are picked? Well, that's up to the admins, the guys that are going to be able to commentate, and what works for Farbsy, because he is their commentator. So, if you're not being selected, don't bitch about it. If you are, use it as a chance to show off your skills. Go ahead and make a name for yourself in your big-time TV debut, as we'll call it. Okay? It's the 239 News, okay? This is great stuff. All right, but I'm assuming, to my understanding, y'all both have watched the series of the week, or at least were able to catch a good portion of it, correct?
Yeah, I watched the full thing, pretty much.
All right, so what were your thoughts on how the cast went? Obviously, it was Farbsy and Pale there in the booth.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, man. I didn't really know what to expect. I'd heard that the guy had worked for the Panthers and Penguins organizations previously, so Was pretty intrigued going into it, and then just listening to him, like he was pretty awesome, man. Like just before the game, doing his research, knowing a couple of the players, knowing your D-Marts and, Cosmic's your top players, watching some pre-game or whatever of one of the teams, so he was actually taking it serious, which was nice to see. Even if you watched like before the series even started, he was clearly taking it serious.
Yeah.
Got in there, obviously showed his professionalism and that this was not his first rodeo. He was pretty seamless between going from the play, skipping over the meaningless parts to talk about maybe something important that had just happened, and then seamlessly just picking it up right back into the play, whatever was going on at the time. Wasn't trying to do that radio style or whatever. He just, really professional about it, knew the names, knew what was going on, was in and out. So I thought it was pretty freaking awesome.
Sober, anything to touch on that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing to me was how well he got the names correct with just going into it. Was pretty cool thing. And then I've heard a lot of people say it was like watching a live game where the call was great, everything was good, and then like Anderson said, he mixed in other things too. But God, that the first when he first started it, I had to go back and watch it because I was in that series. And for our warm-up game that we're in, when he started talking about everything, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. We're in this slaughterhouse of a game, and then now we're going to the league.
Yeah, you guys pounded somebody like 9-0 or something in your warm-up game, and he was just kind of making a joke of it.
Yeah.
Having fun with D-Mart's character and stuff, so he was having a good time with it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. I believe he called D-Mark's character the most Canadian character in the history of virtual hockey. So the way I look at it is this. Look, it felt like an esports casted game. The commentating was great. I want to give a shout out to Pale because he was obviously there as well. As a guy myself who literally has a sports broadcasting degree, like literally I did my fair share of color commentating for my university. Like that's a thing. Obviously you hear the play-by-play guy a ton. But a lot of times the color commentator is the guy that's kind of giving you the insight to where you're going to be able to proceed forward with the actual call. But great nonetheless. Obviously, Farbsies doesn't know everyone in the league. He doesn't know, the skill sets or, which guys are probably the top end guys or which guys are probably mid-tier or whatever, right? Obviously, he's kind of learning on the fly and seeing how things pan out. So from that aspect, I thought it was good that obviously he's going through and kind of learning on the fly. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, still in relation to this topic, though, is, first of all, Sober, you were the only one on this panel that was able to play in this series. What was your mindset knowing that this series was going to be, there was going to be commentators being done on this? You're actually going to have an actual play-by-play guy going through the entire breakdown of the game. Did that change the way your mindset was, how you were thinking about the series going in, how you played during the series? I mean, how did that work for you?
I would say slightly. At the beginning, I didn't know how we were going to actually pull off the stream, whether we were going to have them in our party and it was going to be like a freaking weird conversation piece going on the whole time. But what they wound up doing was D-Mart streamed it, and then however they got it from that point to Pale Stream. I think they hosted it or something. I'm not 100% sure. So they weren't involved in the party or whatever. So that was my first thing. And then I think there might have been a little bit of that, oh my God, we're being watched, by a guy calling the game. And then I think after that, it all went out the window and nobody paid attention.
Because I remember you said something about do we watch the goals? Do we let the replay happen?
Are we supposed to watch for the play-by-play? Are we supposed to actually? But nobody could really make an answer on that. So it was like we did, and then we didn't, and then it was like muscle memory where you just hit the A button really fast. You're like,
so yeah, I feel like you guys hit A just probably out of memory, like I do. If I score a goal, I go head first into the end boards, just mash an A for the next face-off. So.
Then we're like, wait, who hit A? We're like, oh, I didn't. Well, I did.
There's probably 3 people who didn't realize.
Well, no, I mean, and that's one of those things. I can't imagine, years of us playing this game, right? Obviously, at no point in time are we just going to automatically switch over and, none of us are going to hit A. I mean, like, it's going to happen. You know, we're going to skip in. So that's something that you have to think about. Now, next week, we have not Pale on the cast here. It's going to be Farbsy again, but this time with none other than Cortez EA. It should be, to my understanding, streamed on Cortez's stream. If I'm wrong, by all means, please say so. Or I'm sure whenever it comes time for the series that they're going to make sure that's well known, whether it's going to be off of the 239 Media stream or if that's going to be off of Cortez's personal stream. The first one was done off of Pale's personal stream, so I wouldn't be surprised one bit if it's off of Cortez's. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. Now, the matchup for the next one is, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it supposed to be Monster J and Hollywood? Is that correct?
Hollywood and J. Yep. Yep,
okay.
That's right.
So, Anderson, I'll send it to you. What do you think about that potential matchup leading for next week's Series of the Week?
Oh, gosh. I haven't seen either team play a game yet, so
I'll say it this way for you, though, real quick.
Picking either way would be...
It's Hollywood's home team, so it's not Monster J's servers.
Yeah, so, like I said, I haven't watched either of them play, but apparently, I can speak on the whole server thing, Monster J's West Coast line thing. Apparently, they didn't get their West Coast advantage last night in Game 2. I know the whole series in general was kind of fucked up. The servers on Xbox Live in general the last few weeks has been pretty balls. But I know they were kind of complaining that they didn't get their advantage that they thought they were going to get in Game 2, so I don't know if that's going to play a factor into the strategy going forward this year or not, but yeah, to be honest, I don't know enough about either team really. I haven't watched them play. I didn't get a chance to watch either of their series yet, so I was going to watch Jay's series last night. He played my team, but neither one of our bum-ass teams fucking streamed the series, so little note to captains and players on your team, if you guys are able to stream your series, throw up a stream or a broadcast and let us know. There are people that want to watch it, so we're down to watch if you are down to stream, so... but as far as the matchup, I have no clue, so I'm going to have to pass that one along, to be honest with you.
Okay, so you touched on one very important point, and I want to bring this up again. So, captains, speak with your opposing captain that you're about to face. Figure out whether it's a guy on your team, a guy on their team. Make sure at least one person is streaming each and every series. That is the ideal goal. Obviously, there can definitely be more. If you want to have one person streaming from one team and another from the other team, by all means. But we want to make sure at least one player is streaming. You have 12 guys. All right, so somebody out of 12 can get that stream done. All right, that's something that works best for everyone that is not watching or that's not playing that wants to watch. Maybe your teammates that are currently on the bench or can't make it that night that want to tune in. And also it helps for media purposes in relation to going back and watching highlights and having clips. That way there's better content for not only highlighting cool goals or celebrations or tea bags or whatever it may be, right? But for highlights and better purposes for the league as a whole. Okay, so I want to touch there. My take is this. Hollywood's team came out in their first series and they beat No Regretskis and then turned around and lost a series to Master Shotgun. So who knows? Obviously we're in that beginning part of the season where you can't take everything exactly for what they are, right? Some teams might not be performing at the best of their abilities just yet. So it's kind of we're learning still, right?
Yeah, you're saying that and expecting Regresses to be good and Shotgun not so much, but you really have no idea.
We have no idea. I mean, Shotgun won both of his series, so who are we to say that Shotgun's team is not good? Right?
Yeah,
until
that's what I mean.
Prove it on the ice.
There's expectations until you hop on the ice. You never know
how teams work together and how they find ways to battle test themselves through games. Online virtual hockey is determined by not what the fuck we say here on this show or any other show, but what you do on the ice. I'm excited for it. Sober, what do you have?
It all matters what we say on the show. Come on,
Kelch. Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much profits.
I mean, I can't deny it. I mean, this show, you should take everything we say 100% truthful. This is life or death.
I mean, later on in the show, we'll definitely be talking about something that should be taken with.
Calm down, Sober. We will get there. We will get there, Sober. Okay. All right, so here's what I want. go ahead and switch over. So we've talked about the series of the week. We already kind of discussed a little bit of the matchups, as I just said, for Hollywood's team. Let's just jump into recapping week 1 as a whole, okay? First off, let's just kind of look at the standings for what they are at the moment, okay? So as of right now, and this is set to change as there's still one series stats that has not been actually put in, and that is Croydon Knight and Dom Silva's and Rev Hellcat's team. They played here just recently, as anyone that looked at the chat box might have known. What's it called? As of right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, to my understanding, Dom swept Monster J. So Dom currently has 6 points after 3 games. If he did in fact sweep, then he should go up to
should be first place
top
in the league,
right?
At least tied in first, or he's sole place in the league.
Exactly. So he's either number 1 or tied for number 1. He's right up there at the top. And then you look underneath
Dom and
him.
Rev.
Yeah,
and Rev too.
Dom and Rev. Yeah.
Go
captains. I know if you're looking at the actual standings on the 239 Discord, not the 239 Discord, but the 239 site, and you're actually looking at the scoreboard section, it doesn't show all the co-captains as they are. Like, for instance, it shows BTW instead of BTW and Cosmic. It shows Anderson instead of SBDR and Anderson. And it shows Dom instead of Dom and Rev, right? So, definitely don't want to understate any one of them, but that's just what we're kind of looking at here. So, you have, in that case, you'd have Dom, you have Power Kill, Nick the Greek, and that one odd guy, if you're looking at the top 4 teams when it comes to point totals after week 1. Now, I think, for me personally, I don't see any one of those 4 teams as a potential surprise to be at the top. If we're going to pick one, maybe it's that one odd guy. I think, and I would have loved to have BOK not sitting here on sitting in between the pipes right now. I believe in his power rankings, if I remember correctly. I think he had Odd Guy's team power ranked as 12. Now, Odd Guy...
towards the bottom.
Yeah, so towards the bottom. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it was 11th. Maybe it was 10th. But towards the bottom. And obviously,
it wasn't
Odd...
high, basically.
And Odd basically said, shove it. Okay? And Odd's team came out.
Love it.
And they did exactly what we want teams that are not ranked high to do, or projected to be high to do. Go out there and shove it in our faces. Whoever it is that makes the power ranking, you know, that was BLK's, right? I know Pale did one as well. Okay, so I mean, there's plenty of ways to go out there and showcase this. But let me pull up the schedules here, and we can just kind of go through them a little bit one by one. So the season started on Sunday night. The Sunday night series to open off the league. You had Pale Poner versus D-Mart Gaming, or D-Mart 15 as a lot of you will remember. Basically, 2 guys well known in the league, been around a long time. Now this series is a little funny one. Have any one of you ever had your goalie, the night of a series, not have the game downloaded? Has anyone actually experienced that in your life? Sober?
No, I've had it where there's been like a skater that didn't even have the game purchased when the draft happened. I've had that happen before, but not the goalie. No.
Okay. Anderson?
I don't think so. I remember a couple of seasons ago when I was on Dub's team and with Wizzy, and we had Devil, Sniper. Somebody had some sort of fuck up like that. Like somebody uninstalled the game or did something idiotic. I just can't remember who it was though, because I smoked too much weed, to be honest. It might have been Devil. I'm thinking I have experienced it before because it kind of rung a bell at the time. But I mean, I kind of smoked too much weed to remember, to be honest. But I know somebody on our team did do that, so I've experienced it once. It's kind of a big yikes, but I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, I personally have never experienced it, so that was kind of wild to me. So yeah, he missed game 1, so Captain Pale to the rescue. Put on his hat. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say rescue. Yeah. That's a good way. He filled the void, okay? Yeah. So he strapped on the pads and then proceeded to give up 11. So Pale's not a goalie, okay? If you didn't know,
this is why we call you a goalie, Kelch. You only give up like 6. It's like half the amount, pretty much.
And
I'm not a goalie.
100%.
You're fucking a goalie, 13.
Not a goalie.
In that party, we did talk about if we should play off when it was like 7-0. We were like,
Nah.
and then we're like, no, because that makes you play different going forward. You know, all these fucking variables. So,
my take is
7-0. They already know they're getting
do not
smoked.
let up.
So it's 11.
We're right. What's the difference, right?
Like you're playing online.
If you're gonna let up at 4.
They don't know how to play
7.
defense in front of their goalie, and if their goalie can't make a save, like run it up. Yeah. I mean, how many chances do you really get to just nonstop score?
Yeah.
Not
a ton, I would say, right? When you get the chance, take it.
And I would say
you're a dropping guy, maybe.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say we'd be like abused Pale in like, oh, he can't stop this, so we're gonna continue to do this one thing. Like we were moving the puck around. Although it always wind up on.
Well, he's a good player, so not only him sucking in net, just taking him off the ice kind of sucks for the team in general. So
I mean, he's gonna benefit his team a ton more at forward than he will in the pipes. There we go. Yeah. All right, regardless. So that series, D-Mart took game 1 in a lopsided event. Finally, they got their team set as it was supposed to be that night. And then it was a close game 2. It was, 3-... It was 11-1 game 1. Then turn around, D-Mart won game 2, 3-1. And then Pale stole game 3 and won 4-3. So took 2 out of 3 if you're looking at D-Mart's team. So off to a decent start for them, obviously kicking off the 239 season. And that was just obviously the only game played on Sunday night. There obviously wasn't.
That was opening Sunday night.
Sorry, my tilapia is coming back up. It feels like. All right,
Kelch, I feel like you should have got the opening game as the current reigning champion captain. It's kind of disrespectful not to let you open the season. Should have been your squad. I feel.
Mean, it comes out to scheduling though. If we're being honest, I mean, like I think our team refused Sundays, so it's like there's no way it would have happened. You know what I mean? And it's really hard to kind of handpick that. It's not like we're keeping the same team coming back. Though I get your point, kind of like Thursday Night Football opens out a lot of times with the previous champ. Yeah. I get it.
I'm just being dumb. Go ahead.
I mean, I like the thought process. Okay, let's go to kind of just touch on some of the
Monday night.
Let's go to the
just breeze through them.
Four series on Monday night. You have Odd Guy versus Nick the Greek. You have Master Shotgun versus Bartlett. You have No Regretsky's versus Hollywood. And then the last series of that night was Pale again, playing his second series of the week versus Croydon Knight. So, Sober, which of those 4 do you want us to touch on first? You pick and we'll talk.
Son of a bitch. I just flipped it over to see how Anderson's team was doing in the pick 6.
Okay? Why?
All right, I'll go.
I get why you want to watch it because you like to watch hockey, but
I watched the Croydon and Pale series, so I can touch on that one while Sober does whatever the fuck he does on his bouncy ball. So that game, Pale ran his stacked line, right? His BLK, Sedgy, big boy line that he's hoping to ride through the season. They came out strong. I know Sedgy came out and scored in the first minute of the game, dropped a set of balls on some people, let them know what's up. They came out and won the first 2 games. They won 5-2 game 1, won 3-2 in game 2. But Croydon, not to be outmatched, he's got some pretty good chemistry with his forward line as well. They run a pretty good cycle game down low, and they were able to kind of eventually neutralize them a little bit and came back to win game 3, 4-3 there. So they did take 2 points off of Pale's stacked line. So Pale did win the series 2-1, obviously, but it was a pretty even series. The longer it went on, the more even it got. Obviously, with the Croydon win the last one there, so that was a pretty good series. At least, somebody proved early on that the stacked line of the Pale, Sedgy, BLK look can be stopped. So, at least for one game.
Okay, fair enough. Sober, I'm skipping you. All right.
Wait.
No, I'm skipping you.
Okay.
You're gonna talk about. You're going to talk about whatever one I'm not about to talk. What am I going to talk? I'm going to go with Odd Guy versus Nick the Greek. Okay, so obviously Nick the Greek last captain selected, or last captain really to step up more so than selected, to fill a team. All right, this series, I'll just cut it even. Nick went 1-1-1, Odd 2-0-1. So the only win for Nick was in OT. Seemingly a close series all the way around. Surprised me leading the way with 9 points. How this one ended up panning out, though, and one thing I do want to kind of touch on is I want to give shout out to a rookie who potentially, I guess we could say, as of right now, might be the leader for the Calder Trophy when it comes to just number of points as a whole. I might be wrong without actually looking at the stats, but I keep seeing him scoring goals, and that is Dr. Dangles. Playing right wing for Odd Guy's team, up there with Float and up there with Dolly, and it seems to be working pretty well. They are setting him up, and he is finding the back of the net. So shout out to you. I love it when rookies do well, because, especially this season, there's a shit ton of them. So it's definitely good that we see some of them doing well. That's a good thing. All right, so shout out to Odd. Took 5 points out of a potential 6. Now, Sober, I'll hand it over to you. You have the No Regretskis versus Hollywood series. What do you have on this, or do you want to shine light on, obviously?
I just want to say, how were the scores?
Of what, the Hollywood series, or are you talking about the Knicks?
Yeah, Flamies.
So, the scores in that one, it was 5-1 Regretskis, it was 6-4 Hollywood, and then it was 4-3 Hollywood were the finals.
It's surprising to me, to be honest, but it was quite a scoring series. I don't know how well in the long run Regretski's front line is going to work together. They're all a lot of puck carriers. They all like to dominate the puck. Between Ozzy, Brian, who's his other forward?
Figo or Brick?
Exactly. I mean, Figo likes to pass the puck sometimes a little too much. But yeah, I don't see how that line's going to work out in the long run. Flanny's team, he took a lot of guys that have played together before in the Moose. So they do have some chemistry going into it. I'm surprised by the outcome. That's the best I could say. I didn't watch any of that series at all.
That's okay. Let me tell you something, though. Shout out Hollywood for winning 2 out of 3 while having a save percentage of 60%. Boss status right there. That's what I got to say. All right, so we talked about that. Now we'll talk about the last series. I'll talk about this one. It's a series I participated in. It was Bartlett versus Shotgun. So game 1 came out. It was back and forth. Neither team really kind of got going until the later half of that game, so to speak. 4-3 final. Bartlett takes the opening game of the season. Hope Cholo, our goalie, gets his first W. You know, we're feeling good.
Hope Cholo's a beast.
Game 2, we get reamed. 7-1 Shotgun. It wasn't pretty. Our center lagged out, I think, like right around the beginning part of the third or something of that nature. So we lost our captain, and that of Bartlett, and played with the CPU the rest of the way, and it didn't get any prettier. What was it? It was 4 goals in the third.
Yeah.
It was rough. And then game 3, we play without Bartlett, so super sub Johnny Blaze comes in, plays center. We lose that one 3-1, so Shotgun's team comes out. They play very well. Thamps was doing Thamps things, little wraps around the net. But shout out to Master Shotgun. We give him a lot of shit. Okay, the great Cheeto. But he played really, really well on defense. He was playing right D and did a good job, so I want to give props where props is due. So that's that for the Monday series. What do we have next? We had 2 series on Tuesday. Okay, Now the 2 series on Tuesday, if my phone will load up, we had, well, we already kind of discussed it. It was the BTW versus D-Mart series. That's the series of the week. We don't necessarily need to go into that one. Okay, we kind
I'll
of
skip over that.
already touched on it. But the other one in that night was Shock or Tricky versus Dom Silva. Now, 6-3, 5-4, and 8-4. So there's a ton of scoring going on here in these series, or in this particular series. But the one thing that shoots out to me is in a 3-game series, you let Jelly score 12 times. That's 12 times. Almost as many goals as I have in my 239 career in that one series. Now, I don't know if that tells you how bad I am or how good he is, but either one is probably accurate. So, Anderson, what do you take away from that kind of a series?
I mean, to answer your question, to be honest, Jelly is no fucking joke. He's pretty good, so I can see how he scored. I mean, just looking at the box scores, I mean, Tricky's team scored more than enough goals to win each game. Maybe not game one. They scored 3 in game one. But apparently they couldn't keep the puck out of the damn net. So looking at their team just from game one, either they played no team defense, the goalie stunk, or they need a new D-man, or something was happening there. Or apparently Dom. I mean, Swizzy and Jelly, I mean, they're kind of studs. So I could see why they probably just walked right through. I know I was looking at some highlights from that series. And Swizzy was LBing all over the place, right through people and scoring some goals. So looked like it was a rough go back there for them. So didn't watch that. I just watched the highlights. Didn't actually watch the series, but it's a lot of goals being scored. So nice to see some stat padding early on for Dom's team.
No doubt. I agree. I was not watching because I was watching the series of the week. So I was watching that one being televised, aka streamed. So yeah, but I looked back at that and I was just like, Jesus, that is a absolute ton of goals. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of scoring on both sides, like you said. What they scored 3, 4, and 4, right? In their 3 games. I mean, you scored 11 goals in a 3-game series. Like you would imagine, they probably came away with a win.
You score 4 goals in a game, you'd expect to you're probably going to win most of those. Like
you should generally, yes. Unfortunately, that was not the case for Tricky's squad. Tricky that night ended up with just a slight bit over 6 goals allowed a game. So not the best night for them boys on defense or him in the pipes. Sober, you have anything you want to touch on that?
Just move on.
Okay, yeah, I that's fair. That's fair. All right, so next we're gonna go to the Wednesday series. There's only 2 here. We have our biggest slate of games is gonna be on Thursday, which we'll get to soon. But so for the Wednesday games, we have 2. So you have the Monster J versus Power Kill series, and then you have the Dom versus Croydon Knight series.
Yeah, now, stats aren't entered for that though, so we just skip that one.
Stats aren't totally in for the Dom Croydon series.
Just go right to
Croydon's
Power
currently
Kill
at work, so he said he's going to get those stats in tonight. So that's a thing, but I believe Dom swept that series. So you have just one series we're going to talk about, and that's the Power Kill versus Monster J. Monster J, West Coast lineup. It's his home series, so he gets game 1 and game 3. But according to, from what I've heard from people, that wasn't the case. Apparently he didn't get his home server and didn't really have that be an issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've heard. Anyone?
I've heard that he's not been getting the West Coast connection. I guess might need to acquire one more person to swing that the favor the other way. He might need to make a trade or something.
That's fair. I mean, me personally, I think drafting a team just for the sheer purposes of getting one particular coast server, I am so happy that he's not getting it. That is just fucking hilarious to me.
It's worked in the past for other teams in various leagues and stuff, but yeah, it's funny.
I find it
good on him for at least trying.
I mean, he had a plan. I mean, like, now if it works out at some series, obviously that other team is really going to be in for a long fucking night. But
just imagine those games they do get it, how fast they're going to be flying around. You're pretty fucked, but yeah.
Teams are going to have be on the struggle bus, to say the least. But so the games here, all tight games, okay? So it's not like either team really kind of blew this one out. But in the end, it was, Power Kill taking the series, took 2 out of 3. Monster J won game 1. What was it? 2-1.
2-1.
And then Power Kill 5-3, and then Power Kill 5-4. So clearly, back and forth kind of game. Sober, I'll send it to you if you want to comment on either one of these teams or what you have for them.
I watched a little bit of it. It's a typical kind of almost like a run and gun for both teams. It was get down the ice, make a quick play, go back the other way. There was really no big cycle times. There was no anything. It was like go down, get your opportunity, come back. Get down, get your opportunity, come back. That's all I've noticed out of that. Both those teams so far.
They doing like curve shots and stuff, or like what were they?
Just whether it was a forced cross crease pass or come down and one guy tries to dangle in, or I didn't notice anything, any big kick it back to the D kicks it, any of that shit. I just saw it was like either one guy was trying to do it all himself, or it was a quick give and go type of play.
Well, it's funny you mentioned give and go type. I feel like two guys that really have a good chemistry or like play together quite a bit. And that's on Powerkill's team. It's Powerkill himself at center and his right wing Anthrax. They're always playing. They definitely know how to use each other, where each other wants to be a lot of times. I faced that in my second series, which will be in the Thursday, which we'll just talk about. But they definitely like to play with each other. So yeah, that team's good. So I think we're good there. Shout out to Powerkill for winning his first series, obviously opening the season off strong. And then we move to Thursday, which has 5 series on the slate. Let's start with the first one that pops up is Hollywood versus Shotgun. So both teams coming off W's. Shotgun against Bartlett, Hollywood against Regretsky's. Kind of really getting a chance to gauge where each other's at. Well, Shotgun comes out in this one, wins game 1 4-1, and then proceeds from that point to then lose game 2 5-2. So complete switch in the game plan or the outcome necessarily, right, for Hollywood. But that's not it. Then the third game goes to OT because obviously you got a rubber match and then it's gonna go the distance, right? And if I'm not mistaken, what is it? Shotgun, I think. Yeah, Shotgun ends up pulling that one out 5-4 in OT. So we got 3 points there for Hollywood and his squad.
So Shotgun's 1-1-1 there.
Yeah. So I mean,
for the series win.
Yeah. So you definitely have that ability there for now Shotgun to now win both series leading into week 2. So props to Shotgun. I think if I'm not mistaken, without having the standings pulled up right in front of me, I believe he's number 5 on the standings at the moment. So he's definitely in a good spot. His team, which people don't believe in coming into the season before any games were played. He's kind of laughing at him a little bit. Shout out Marty McFly. Forward line's
quality. They're underrated, man. Yeah, Marty, Martin Nook, and Famps.
I mean, they're finding ways to put the puck in the back of the net. Martin Nook is a rookie. Okay, I think I saw a stat on him. Let me pull that back up. What is his? If I can get it back up here, I think he has like 8 or 9 goals or something like that leading up to this point. Obviously, just 2 series.
So Thames has 6. Martinook has 8. Marty has 9.
He's got 17 points in 6 games. So shout out Martinook right off the bat. And then you have Mr. Marty McFly. This man known as a two-way center, going to be a guy that's going to probably facilitate a little bit. I think he popped 9 goals in week 1. So he's going to look over at his brother.
More goals and assists, so
he's going to look at his brother, which if you didn't know, Martin brother, okay? So D-Mark Gaming's brother, his older brother, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, is Marty McFly. And they were going to battle it out for which of them can actually lead their own team in points. So will it be D-Mart leading his squad? Will it be Marty McFly? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to go with Marty McFly because I'd love to see that. But yeah,
it sucks anyway. I'll say it every week if I have to.
Repeat that for those who didn't hear.
D-Mart Gaming stinks at Chell. Not that great at the UFC either. I heard through the grapevine.
Okay, you might have gone a bit too far with that.
No, he's been teasing me all week, so fuck him.
Got him triggered.
He's not my friend for like 2 more minutes.
D-Mart's going to be calling into the show in about 2 seconds to just let you know how dumb you are.
He's probably already texted me right now on Discord.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So shout out, can't even talk. Shout out Shotgun. That's a lot harder than I imagined it to be. All right, and then after that series, we'll go to Tricky Shock playing against Nick the Greek. Okay, so this was another sweep. So we have Nick the Greek sweeping Shock. Shock is the only team to leave week 1 without a point. So definitely not off to the kind of start that he would have wanted, but off to the exact start that everyone not on his team expected. So it is what it is. I'm not going to touch any more on that series. And we'll go to Anderson, your squad. So you have you versus Monster J. You were so lively in this game because you didn't play it. So how did it go?
Our team came out. We won, I think, game 1 and 2. I heard, just through my own team chat, that this game was kind of a bit of a mess. I know Jay's team had obviously pretty high ping. They were pinging like 100. I know our goalie superstar was pinging like 160 or something stupid. So apparently it was a bit rough out there with the EA servers. But we ended up prevailing in the shit show that is, 6v6 hockey on EA's servers some nights. So we pulled through apparently on that one, got the dub. So like I said, wasn't playing in it. I had my own games going on at the time. I was getting smacked around by Crispy and some other people, Mercenary or whatever I was losing to. But so at least one team got the dub for me that night.
Okay, so here's one thing I'm going to say, because let's see. The scores were Anderson, your squad winning 2-1. Anderson, your squad winning 9-3. And then Monster J winning 3-2. So a total of seven goals scored there for Monster J and his club. Monster J, in which had 6 of those 7 and had the apple on the only goal that he didn't score. So my thing right off the rip is, who else is going to step up to the plate and put the puck in the back of the net for Monster J? That would be just maybe the first thing I kind of noticed when I looked at the box score. Jay in his own right is great, right? He absolutely can carry a team offensively. He can be your go-to guy. But you need a running mate. You need at least a sidekick, if you want to call it that way. Whatever you need. You need a 1-2 punch. It's not a one-only man punch, right? You need a 1-2 punch. So someone step up. Maybe someone on that team is like, bitch, I score plenty. You know what I mean? And they're going to show me in week 2 and beyond, right? But someone else has to do that. He's playing with the forward line that he wanted. His buddies that he got late in the round. So one of those is gonna have to step up there. Obviously, I don't sit there and count on a D-man to be the second man in a scoring punch for a duo on a team. But that's
I'm gonna go grab a
couple
couple more beers while you guys wrap up Thursday here. Hold on, I'll be right back.
You're good. All right, so we're gonna go to the Odd versus BTW series. Sober, that one is all you, buddy.
Oh, me? Why is that?
Cause I didn't watch a lick of it.
Okay, well, I watched a little bit of it. So I played BTW's team this week, but it was the Cosmic line. And what everybody is saying to me looks correct. They are a completely different team when Cosmic isn't in the lineup.
Yeah.
Odd's team's good. We played them in a scrimmage after the draft, and they're all pretty tight games. So they have their moments. They look pretty good. That game, there was a lot of good puck moments. Like I said, the only thing is when Cosmic isn't in the line and you're almost dedicating 2 people to try to shut him out. Who's going to be that next guy up that's going to demand the puck, demand the play? Like, I don't think there's a guy on that team that is able to do that. They're going to have to definitely be puck moving a lot and not taking penalties.
Yeah, I personally think, it puts a lot of pressure there on BTW. Now, BTW is a great player in his own right, but it puts a ton of pressure there on him to kind of carry the load.
Shout out to their goalie, too, that win.
Oh, no, Yen 75?
Yeah.
Yen 75, dude absolutely balled out.
Yeah,
for the week, if you're being honest. Maybe the guy that I noticed the most, just kind of like looking back at stuff, and from what I saw in certain in series that I did watch, Yin 75, rookie goalie to the league, definitely looked very sharp. So a guy that I will definitely give credit where credit is due.
And when they do have the Cosmic line in, the Hall of Fame guy on D is also a pretty good D man. So between him and Ian, they're able to lock it down. It puts a lot of pressure on your D and your goalie if you're not able to man the play.
They seemingly have two very solid rookie players there on the back end. I, for one, am not shocked whatsoever that Cosmic and BTW were able to find diamond in the rough, maybe guys that they may have known about that maybe we didn't know about. And when I say we, I mean other captains.
That's what I was saying last show.
Right?
You always got to worry about those top captains, top talented players, just knowing their ringers, those people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So
you got to be able to handpick the guys that maybe that are going to be difference makers down the stretch that other captains just are going to overlook and maybe draft elsewhere where they probably couldn't have. That's a thing. Yeah. Speaking of which,
I do like the Dolly Float pairing too. I think that pairing works really, really well together.
Yeah.
Right.
If you didn't know already, I will tell you, Dalai Lama, if you're listening, one, you're fucking cute, and two, I still love you. So anywhere you put Dolly, any line he's on, any forward combination, he's gonna make the best out of a good situation, the best out of a bad situation. He's gonna find ways to make his forward pair, right? I don't even know whoever it is any given season, he's gonna make them better than probably they actually are. When you do that, that's how you know you really have like a special talented player that makes the players around them better. So shout out Dolly. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll go to the last series. This series, the series that I said I played in when I talked about Power Kill, is Power Kill versus Bartlett.
You just take it, Coach.
You
just take it.
It was ugly. So you have Power Kill beating Bartlett's team 4-0 in game 1. Power Kill winning 2-1 in game 2. A real close one that unfortunately didn't fare in our favor. And then after that one, we got sent out back, shotgun to the back of our head, and then our brain matter was blown all over the front lawn. It was fun. It was 8-2 final in game 3.
Who broke their controller in that game?
I believe our rookie Peck 87. I think after goal 5, maybe 6. Who knows? There was a lot of them in game 3. Didn't really like his controller anymore. So that went flying across the room. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, all in all, shout out Power Kill. They played great. They locked it down. Their goalie, another rookie. I like the fact that I keep talking about rookie players. Death to All played great in net. He had a 1 goal against average and nearly a 90, in between 91-92% save percentage, spot on. So that's our series that we've talked about. Obviously, that's what wrapped up in week 1. What will happen in week 2? Who the fuck knows? But now for a topic that I know a lot of people are excited about. And when I say excited about, you're either one of two sides of this. Either you think they're great and you're super ecstatic, or you've had a lot of jokes about it, or you fucking hate it. Okay? So we're going to talk about, shout out Hollywood for getting these out here for the league and for creative purposes for content. But we're going to talk about 239's player cards. He's done it in seasons past, and now he's bringing it back here for season 15. So let's go ahead and jump into that. I'm going to pull up the images right now. It's pulling up on my phone if I can get through the Discord. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total player cards done. We have 2 players with the highest overall sitting at 94. That is none other than Cosmic EA, fair, and DMark Gaming. Sober, do you have your player cards pulled up in front of you, or do you need to switch to that tab on your laptop?
I got them up.
Anderson, you have them up. You want to talk about
Yep.
Cosmic EA? I'm gonna
Cosmic?
I'm gonna skip you on talking D-Mart. I'm gonna hand that one to Sober.
Yeah, because I'd have nothing good to say about that guy. You already know. All right, Cosmic A. So am I going Cosmic Fade or am I going just Cosmic EA? It's the bottom one, right?
Yeah, the Cosmic.
Right.
Yeah, the very bottom one. Don't
Yeah.
look at the one that has like
So-
any other style besides the traditional one that's for all the other ones.
Yeah, I got you. So out of all the player cards that we're going to go over, this is probably the most valid, legit one that I don't have a gripe with. The rest of them, I probably have some shit that I could talk about. This one is probably the most deserving. Cosmic's a little bitch to play against because he's pretty damn good. He's annoying as hell. I see 94 skating, check mark there, that's legit. I see 95 hands, check mark there, that's legit. 85 checking, check mark there, that's pretty legit. He's pretty good on the forecheck. Shooting is 89. I mean, the shooting in this is pretty fucking arbitrary. I mean, who the fuck knows what's going to happen game to game in this EA Sports fucking shit show that we play. You can use a sniper build and hit the glass behind the net. You can use a grinder and go bar down. Who the hell knows? So, I mean, 89, sure. I just see his best skill is scoring, which is definitely true. You see the stats there on his card, and the stats don't lie. He's got a shit fucking ton of points. So, 94, well deserved. So, can't talk shit about that one. Most deserving probably of his ranking.
I feel like if we're gonna base it off of just one particular like person, I don't know if you can put anyone higher overall than Cosmic. So if Cosmic's at a 94 at this point, is there really a valid point to put anyone above that? My gripe would be probably not. So we'll see how the rest of the player cards unfold. But that's that one. So next we're gonna send it over Sober, take over, and you got D-Mart Gaming.
D-Mart. I don't think it's fair that I'm doing this.
Well, it definitely wasn't going to be fair to send it to Anderson.
Well, you can go and I'll poke holes. Go ahead.
Well, this year, and I don't want to do a full breakdown of each stats, but D-Mart has a tricky way of finding the back of the net when there's times that you don't think he's going to be able to get a shot off or something. He seems to find a way to get it in the net. I think his checking needs to be raised a little because of recent play.
That should be his highest stat.
He plays with a smaller build, and he definitely
league in hits.
Defense, he is solid on D, but I still don't know why. Sometimes in this league there's that weird thing where people transition, like when you're on the PK or something, and you constantly transition, say, the right winger when he's covering for D-man that took a penalty, and you transition that player. I get it in like club and stuff, but in league, I find it winds up hurting the team more because you're rotating people into spots. Like you have your center dropping back to play D for that right winger. I don't like it, especially in D-Mart's case, because he is a very good defenseman also.
Yeah.
And the making teammates better for his best skill. That one's kind of hard for me because I believe it's true, but I believe that's true with any good player. It should make your other teammates better. So I personally would put his into just his competitive level. Like I don't want to say he's an ultimate tryhard, but he definitely gives a shit, when it's winning and losing. And if we're down, he wants to be winning. So he picks up the pace in that aspect.
He's a guy that definitely doesn't want to lose.
Yeah, his
no
94,
matter where it is.
His favorite quote is "I don't give a shit" or "I don't care, man," and then he goes balls to the fucking walls all the time. It's great.
I mean, that's how he is, though. Look, I wouldn't want him to change one bit. Like, he's gonna try his ass off every single series. If he's in a 12s lobby, if it's 4 a.m. his time, and he is shit-faced, right?
He's does playing not like matter. This. He's like can't
except
see.
For the other night. The other night we were he was drunk, he was tired. We went into OT. the dude just peaced out. He didn't give a flying fuck. He was gone. He was gone by like the second puck drop of the period. It was hilarious.
3 days back is his cutoff. You can't go past that. If you go past that,
it's 210-ish. Yeah, he's fucked.
he's fine.
Yeah, he gets a little funny if you didn't know D-Mart. He's
like a robot. So 210, the COD brain goes on, Chell turns off, and he's in COD mode, COD solo Warzone mode, and all he can do is snipe.
He plays living hell out of NHL.
He doesn't have that elitist.
But when you don't know is that he grinds COD even harder in solos. So shout out to him. All right, I'll take another one. I'll take this.
Let's get to the next two or something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick who I select. So I'm not doing mine. I'm not doing mine.
Wizzy and Odd, couple of D-men.
So I'll go with that one, Odd Guy. Odd Guy sitting at an 84 overall. His best skill shows that as breakouts. Now, I know a gripe that maybe Odd has, or I've seen other people say, is the fact that how is he an 84 as compared to previous seasons when his player card showed an 86 when he feels he's always gotten better. Well, I feel like the goal was to redo the whole player cards as a whole, try to get as accurate as we possibly can based off of the group right now. So not basing it off of what happened in previous seasons, or comparing him to previous older cards. So when you look at the setup here, defense sitting at 84, pretty solid. Obviously, he's one of the better D-men in this league. He's come up clutch in multiple situations. I mean, he'll sit here and tell you he's the clutchest guy in 239 history. That can be debated, but he'll say it, right? Hands, 80 for a defenseman. Not too bad. Obviously, the guy can still score the puck, so an 83 overall shooting for a defenseman. Perfect. I'm fine with it. I don't really have an issue with much of anything that's on this card for him. Skating is 82. My thing is, what makes us really say that? How do we gauge the skating? Okay. For the most part, I mean,
LT ability.
That's what I'm saying. So is it the ability to just LT, or I mean
mostly
that's got to be
skate out of trouble.
Okay. So
if you're a D-man, the ability to pick a puck up in the slot after you turn it over and maneuver your way out of trouble to get that pass out is part of it for D-men, but a lot of it's just your LTing, your dangle ability kind of with the sticks.
Yeah. That's perfectly fine if we're going to go with that. Then his 82 skating is fine. I don't really have an issue with Odd Guy's card. Maybe that's why I chose his card. Take the cheap way out. But one thing I want to point out is it's a little deceptive in the fact that it doesn't really matter for Odd Guy specifically, but for the cards it does show games played, and it shows career games played that doesn't really specify as to position, so this could potentially include games that you played in multiple positions. So Odd Guy is primarily a defenseman, but has he played other games in, forward spots, goalie spots, not necessarily saying Odd Guy is, but for everyone's card that you're going to see, that's what you're going to kind of show. You're going to show a full breakdown of all games. So it might be a little bit misguided if you look at it in that sense. Now, Anderson, we'll send it back to you. Pick anyone but your own card.
Anyone but my own card?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, okay.
And while you do that, I'll be right back.
No worries. I'll go with my boy Cortez EA. This is a guy who plays multiple positions. He'll hop in your party anywhere from fucking 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. in the morning. Never goes to bed. Willing to play anything. Beauty. He's got 82 skating, 84 shooting, 81 hands, 80 checking, 81 defense. His best skill, Spinorama. That is accurate as fuck. So all in all, the card, I really can't hate. Many a D-men have, clamped this motherfucker all game long. They're like, wow, Cortez EA sucks. And then this guy speed bursts down the wing, hits the left trigger, Spinoramas your ass right to the middle of that, dunks on your goalie to tie the game. And you're like, well, shit. Then he does it again like 2 minutes later. You're like, fuck me. Fuck me. So that's accurate as fuck. Cortez, I mean, I would give him higher than an 82 skating. He's pretty nifty out there sometimes. Shooting, again, fuck shooting. I'm not even talking about shooting. That's a stupid stat. Hands, 81, probably too high. The guy's got stone hands. Let's be real. He just has a left trigger. Checking 80, probably pretty accurate. Gets shafted, though, on the defense, in my opinion. The guy can definitely play some pretty good defense. He's got 81. In my opinion, he should be closer to like an 87, 88 defense. He's pretty solid. So a mostly accurate card there for Cortez. But, okay, like I said, for most of these cards, I can pick holes and sound them. So I would give him a little bit higher overall. He's an 81 overall. In my heart, he's probably closer to about an 83, 84. So not a bad card.
All right. Sober. Go for it. Pick one, buddy.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this one out there. I'm gonna go to Superstar.
All right. Take a goalie.
Yep. So the main reason why I'm taking Superstar is he has 5 games played. He has 2 wins on this card. So I know Superstar used to be a goalie, and then he transitioned to solely playing left wing for quite a while. So my gripe on this card is, how is he rated as high as, say, for instance, Lime, that has 137 games played. Superstar's save percentage 72%. Goals against average 4, basically 4. And then you look at like Lime right below him. 137 games played, 82 save percentage, 239 goals against. So I know Superstar is a good goalie. I played with him before, but he has done nothing to get that 89 overall in this league. Comments?
I'll take it.
Comments. He's on my team, and we're just waiting to find out.
Okay, so I'll take it from there in that sense, because valid points, right? He doesn't have the long standard or like 10-year fucking history with 239. So how can you really base him off of that? A little bit is from what people have seen from him. A little bit is hearsay in regards to how he is in the pipes, and kind of basing it off of, like, from my understanding, the hype that a lot of people have seen and I've heard. From my understanding in general, okay, let's start there. I've heard nothing but positives about this guy. Mm-hmm. When his name is Superstar, it sounds that is exactly what he is in the pipes. So can we gripe about an 89 overall right off the rip? Sure. Is he probably going to live up to an 89 overall? Absolutely. So obviously Anderson wants it. He's his fucking goalie this season, right? So Anderson definitely hopefully that card is underselling him. Hopefully he's a 93 for Anderson, right?
Well,
he tells me he's lagging and gives up like 2 goals. He's like, "Sorry, man." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" Like,
I'm just looking at say that card to the next goalie right below him, right? How do those 2 goalies have the same overall?
Look, I mean, I get it. Like the Lime has been here. He's done it. He's had plenty of seasons with us. That's who you know what? I'll just.
I see what you're saying. It'd be fair to put the Lime up to like maybe like a 90, 91 at least. Just give him an edge at least a little bit.
Or just drop Superstar down.
Right.
Like if Superstar in this instance was an 86, obviously basing that off of he's got good merit. Give him an 86. That's not saying he's bad by any stretch of the imagination at all. I mean, and then obviously he has his way to work up to closer to 90.
We're forecasting ahead to the future. I mean, you're looking at the top forwards are 94. Let's say maybe B Cripps, top goalie, kind of seen in 239 goes around maybe a 94 is the biggest gap, 5 overall from Lime to B Cripps. I mean, Lime's pretty good. You know what I mean? So I could see an argument to be made to move Lime up there, at least into the 90s somewhere, low 90s.
Yep. So I know that, like I said, I get it. I know Soup used to be a really good goalie. But just solely if we're talking about cards that came out, that'd be my initial gripe. Be like, okay, well, it doesn't make any sense that he's the same as mine at all.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm gonna take. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the Lime. Yeah. Okay, the Lime is the guy I'm gonna take. We're already here. Might as well just continue the topic about the other goalie. So first and foremost, he's got a 239 goals against average, 82% save percentage. He's played 137 games, 71 wins. I mean, good stats. Valid in my opinion of an 89 overall. I have no quarrels with this at all. I tend to believe that obviously like Sober said, superstar maybe a little bit below that. One thing I see here, best skill positioning. I get for a goalie, this is probably really hard to kind of like give him a best skill, right? In real life, you could say a goalie has great rebound control. We're playing virtual fucking hockey. There is no such thing as EA and rebound control, right? So some things are just kind of off the table, okay? So I mean, it's kind of hit or miss on best skill. So it is what it is. Now, could we debate? Wait, did someone say anything?
Gulch.
Yeah. What?
Couldn't hear what you're saying. You sound like a baby.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what you said, Sober.
I'll just add them here.
Repeat.
Just follow along. Keep talking.
All right, bet.
He's fixing his stuff.
Okay. So basically,
let's keep going, Kelchi. We gotta move along here anyway.
Yeah. So we're a little bit in this. We're an hour or so. So regardless, I'm not gonna jump into the high, low, quickness, position, all that. I'm not gonna do it. Okay. It's going to be too difficult to rank a goalie in that sense based off of what's going on because there's too many bounces. It's in my position or in my personal opinion, I feel like goalie in itself is the hardest thing to kind of narrow down an exact strength or weakness for that. But regardless, we are done with the lime.
Couch, pull out your phone, by the way.
Why?
Just because you're missing messages people are sending to you.
Y'all are the worst. All right, well, then go ahead, Anderson, and pick somebody else to talk about.
Yeah. I'll talk for a second. You catch up on your phone there, you dummy. So I'll go with Wizzy War. He's the last one remaining that's not me and you out of these cards. So, I'm not going to talk about myself or you because you suck. We all know. So I'll go with Wizzy War here. He is a 91 overall, his right D-man. Skating 89, shooting 86, hands 87, checking 83, defense 93. Sorry, I'm kind of a little drunk at this point, can't see. Best skills has hockey IQ. This is a guy that I play a shit ton of hockey with, whether it's sixes, esports, random fucking twos at 4 a.m. with fucking Kong and Malone and whoever the hell else is on our team. Really, really, really good player. Really, really smart player. I would classify him as kind of like a two-way D-man. He's a guy who's going to, do more than his own on the defensive end. And also, hey, we got Cortez in here. Cortez?
Look at this sexy son of a bitch. Let's switch over to Cortez just to talk about him.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
So Cortez is pretty good. That's all I'm saying. Cortez.
How does my mic sound first off?
You're good.
Okay, I just want to make sure. First, I love the beards. We're all matching right now. We all need our haircut and our beards.
Brother, I ain't seen a barber in 2 months. I'm losing my life.
I really like the belt. It's reflecting that beard right off of it. It's looking really nice. Now, if only you could picture all the things all of us captains that have ever had that belt have done to it, you wouldn't want to hold it. So,
been on there for an hour.
I wanted to touch up on something that Sober had said at one point. And it's about the whole superstar to B-Crips thing and Lime. When we came up with the idea to redo the cards, so I want everybody to know I had nothing to do with the ratings. I had nothing to do with who was chosen to be done.
I will kill you.
Listen. I even told you I would not give myself an 81. I don't think I'm great. Like what Anderson said with my stone hands, absolutely correct. The spin move's correct. I'm fucking right on with that. So the ratings I had nothing to do with. I originally had told Hollywood, if we're going to bring them back, let's use the veteran people to kind of give the benchmark rating of Cosmic and Dan. I would even have Anderson up there of the better players in the league. And we kind of said that's the benchmark for the highest. And then we have some veterans, who may be the waivers, who may be drafted towards the end is kind of the benchmark for the lowest. But then I said with rookies, we shouldn't say hey, this person was chosen in the first round as a rookie or second round or whatever. Let's give them a higher overall. I was like, no, let's give every rookie 75 overall. It doesn't mean they're shit. Because you just give them either a 75 or an 80 or whatever number you want to give, or it's going to keep everybody happy. And then halfway through the season, we'll relaunch the cards with an actual overall that's kind of a little more accurate based on their time in 239.
It's a lot of faith you finish the cards by halfway through the season.
Well, they will be. I think as long as everybody can get those photos to Flanny, he can get them done within minutes. It's the hardest part is just getting the ratings done. But I thought there was I thought that was a really good thing that Sober brought up. I don't know Superstar well. I've heard that he's pretty solid. But if you're gonna put a goalie at similar ratings to a B Crips, in my opinion, there's only 2 goalies in this league that could be anywhere near that number. And one of them is in here, and that's Anderson, and he doesn't really play goalie in 239. And the other one,
I have the benefit of having both of them on the team though. B Crips on my esports team and the other on my 239 team. So I see them both quite a bit. They're they're both pretty fucking good. So
I can agree. Both. I can agree. I'm just saying more as along the lines of with him being a rookie, it's that whole thing of give them the base rating, let them prove themselves in the league, and kind of go from there. So that was more of why do I see a bouncy ball on my screen?
That is Sober's chair.
Should see what's strapped on top usually.
Look, it's asked by his doctor. It helps with his prostate.
Sober.
Hi.
Do you sit on that thing while we play our games?
No.
He sits on a couch.
I can totally picture it. He's backdoor with his offhand going. Pass the puck,
penalty shot is going crazy.
Oh, man.
No, but I don't want to hijack the show. I just wanted to hop in and kind of give that quick touch quickly. I do believe the plan is with the cards is we're going to release those like live action shots for people that have done like something special. Like maybe if whoever like gets the number 1 play on like a top 10 gets a new action shot card with a higher overall. I don't think it'll be like by a lot, but like I said, I have no idea who's doing the overalls. There's a lot of that shit I would personally change, but that doesn't matter. Like Kelch, you're not a 79. We'll just get that clear. I know you're not going to talk about yourself because you're that kind of guy. You're not a 79.
69.
At minimum 69.
I'm at least a 69, yeah.
But like you're not a 79, and I think that there's some other numbers on here that could be changed around for some people. But at the end of the day, it's just there for it to be content. Let's just be happy it's there regardless. And that's
it's 1,000% better with it than us not having it.
Exactly.
Regardless of what it is, it's a buzz. People are going to look at it. People are going to get some kicks at it. Hell, we're having a segment on the show about it.
For sure. I also am here on behalf of my team to say that the Tomahawk has agreed to do every write-up for every team for the rest of the season. Sober heard it in our chat, right, Sober?
I'm sorry, buddy. You won't get to do a write-up for my team.
Why not? The 13th overall pick needs to bring success with the team.
No comment.
How do I kick him from the chair?
Hold on. So
I mean, we never even got Blue Line. You might as well just keep him around for the chirp segment next or whatever we're doing.
If you want to stay for one more segment, we only have like 2 more after this, so you're good.
I'm good with that.
Let's spin into it.
Well, one more thing before we go forward. The whole thing you touched up on, Anderson, with the cards too, or somebody did, I think it was actually Kelch, is the whole games played based on like what position you play.
Yeah.
So I know that, like, for instance, I think I have like 340 games played or something like that, and they are all evenly split at every single position. Yeah. So I have like 50 to 70 games in net, 50 to 70 games of defense, and all that kind of bullshit there.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we accurately represent that on a card, so there's going to be people like that obviously are going to be, it's going to be a little hard, but just to kind of keep that.
Trying to sabotage my points per game, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
What was that, Sober?
You could do that through the scoreboard.
Well, no, I know.
Well,
I'm saying,
but like, it's hard on a card to make multiple. You're making multiples.
Yeah.
That exactly. Anyway, continue to the next segment. Sorry.
Well, we have a few guys left. Actually,
it's just me and you.
Quartet. No, we have Wizzy left. Cortez.
We just did Wizzy.
Well, you guys just did a little bit. Yep.
Oh, all right. You know what, Cortez? He's take
terrible.
Mr.
We got
Anderson.
over it. Yep.
Give us Mr. Anderson's breakdown card.
Anderson's card.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 90 overall. I'm gonna do the exact same thing as you, Anderson. These stats of the skating, shooting, all that kind of shit. Not really important. The hands at 88. If you're using that 6'5" power forward, just put that shit down to a 0, and you're still gonna walk.
0, yeah.
The checking is good. The defense is good. The whole games, plays, goals, all that stuff. I know the best skill versatility. I can't talk, but you know what I'm saying. You can play center, right wing, goalie. Hell, you could even put yourself a defense if you wanted to, and I think you'd excel. I think that 90 is a good overall. I would probably put you and Wizzy at the same overall. I think Wizzy just gets a 91 because he just strictly basically plays right D now. So that's where
I just thought it was funny. Like, if you just look at the numbers, like, I think I beat Wizzy in 4 out of 5 categories, yet I'm a lower overall. And the only one he beats me in is by 1. So it was just weird logic for the cards there. So we should just keep an eye on that going forward. But other than that.
Well, I was going to say, like, so if we're going to do the whole defensive stat for both, if Wizzy's primarily defense, you should get that a higher number.
Yeah.
The whole hands thing.
Logic there.
Yep, I agree. Either way, I was going to say, I think I'd put you both at the same overall, just because if I know you're playing, whether you're playing center, right wing, or goalie, I think you've earned that overall. And Wizzy, if he's playing right D, definitely has earned that overall. So I would say that's right around the ballpark. You get you anywhere from a 91 to the 90. I'd be good with that. I think I said 91. I hope I didn't say 81.
I don't remember. Sure.
If Dan didn't tell me to say this, but I'll just say it to back my boy up. You suck, but you don't. So.
Yeah, right, I mean, T-Martin knows I love him. He's terrible at video games. It's okay. You get old sometimes.
Wrap up the segment. Sober or Anderson? Which of you wants to take me?
Neither.
I'll do Couch.
All right, there you go. So someone take it.
Fucking Couch, El Capitano, Mr. Herb Brooks, my daddy, my owner from last season, my co-champion there, as you could tell by the belt. So Couch is a left D-man / left winger. If you put him at any of the other 4 positions on the ice, he's going to fucking cost you the game. But when he's at left D or left wing, he is kind of steady as they go. For some reason, he plays a small build now in defense and kind of gets walked every once in a while. But for the most part, Couch has always been that steady guy, basically, that for the most part, and if we're talking 239, has always been that starter on left D for most teams. His best skill, I'm not even looking at his card right now. I don't know. He got a 79 or something because he sucks. But his best skill is almost like mine, like versatility. He can mesh with anybody. He's pretty good with the puck. He makes that pretty good first pass out of the zone. Sometimes when people forecheck Kelch, he can get a little bit lost with pressure. But for the most part, if you give Kelch, just a little bit enough time to see on his blurry ass TV that's like 150 ms ping, he will make a smart play and hit his open teammate with some speed momentum. He can also play up on forward. Not so much of a goal scorer. I mean, he's Johnny Kling for a reason. It's not clinging in, it's clinging fucking out into the crowd. But, he puts himself in the right spot anyway. He's not, going to get lost out there. He's a smart player. He's got, he's pretty ugly, but he's pretty smart. So you got to have something going for you, right? So I would say all around beauty guy. Best skill, I don't even have to look at his card, is definitely the soundboard. If any of you 18, 19, 20-year-old kids on Kelch's team are listening right now, please respond to Kelch in his team chat and, give him some soundboard information and just help his brother out. Like, he's fucking beauty here. Like, there's a reason we let him on the show and let him host. It's not because he's good at the game. It's because he's just a great guy. So help the brother out, give him some information there.
All right. I will take it from there and say one thing. I agree with every single thing you said. I suck, first and foremost. I am not even upset about the fact that I'm a 79. My biggest gripe, and the only gripe I had...
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Hold on. Pause. Because I even said if I were doing my own card, I would not give myself higher than an 81. Okay? But what I do have a gripe with, and what I saw and I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, is the fact that how in the fucking world did not one fucking attribute even reach 80? How? Like, I was talking to C-Dub, okay? Shout out C-Dub21 because I fucking love you. Secondly, though, he told me, basically with that kind of a breakdown of your attributes, you are none other than like a third line checking forward on a World Junior team. That's basically what it's saying. I can't
You're
skate.
Second D-man, third forward. So you're a hell of a second D-man, third
skate.
forward.
I can't shoot.
I just want to say,
That's
if you
accurate.
average out all those 5 numbers, by the way, it gives you a 77.6 overall, not even 79.
Well, yeah, because it's including other things like that are not listed here, like cuteness, ability to overtalk Cortez when he's dumb, and
taste in shirts, 0.
So far, you have 0 attributes of both of those. So let's keep going. Actually, cuteness, I give you a few. I'll give you some on that.
Thank you. No, just kidding. But no, but in all
He's got
seriousness,
beard.
my thing, and I think I don't know if I told this to Dub, if I told this to Anderson, I'll tell it to the whole fucking 239. My thing is this: I'm perfectly fine with skating being trash, shooting being. I don't fucking score. My shooting is probably too high at 77. My hands, sure, 74 is fine. But the one thing that gets me is how is the fuck is my defense not at least at an 80? I play defense all the fucking time. And my goalie has won the Vezina in back-to-back seasons with me on defense. Clearly, I'm not the worst in the world. I'm not good. But I'm not
G.I. Joe is how.
I didn't have G.I. Joe the season before. I had
Hold
BBX.
on.
I had BBX who played forward.
You also had myself, Marty, and Dan in front to help out with that whole defensive zone.
I don't want to hear the bullshit you're spewing out of your mouth.
Listen, I have nothing to say for last season because I wasn't here.
Okay,
but that season we were all in unison.
Out.
We also had DJ who lit the shit up, and if we would have had 37 in net all season, we would have finished in last. Like we would have gotten less points than what Shock is going to get this season.
That's not
just
possible.
Gonna put that out there right now.
You can't get less than 0.
You can. It's going to be -1 with how many people have quit the team and quit the league. If that's what happens, trust me. That's what we would have had.
So, all right, we're done.
All
We're
right.
done. We're done with player
Let's wrap
cards.
up the cards. Let's get to the last segment here.
All right,
whatever.
so
Yeah,
okay, so shout out to Hollywood again for making the player cards. He's working on another batch of player cards. They should be out pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that 239. Let's see if you're on the next list of cards that are released. We'll talk about those two coming soon. But for another segment, one of our last official segments we're going to talk about though is trade or trape. And we all know what this is about. Anderson's sitting there. He's trying to hold back a laugh. I already know it because he's a cuck. All right.
Always trape. Always trape.
But sober. So the trade here is the Clumsy Ninja for Mick Lucas 24 or 22. I don't remember what he changed his gamer tag to.
It's Lucas 24.
Lucas 24. Now it used to be Mick Lucas 22. That's what it was. So, sober. You see this trade, and your thoughts are?
There's many thoughts I have for it. One is you go on a team that has Hockey Mike and Zelo as your two other forwards, and you trade your only other forward away. To me, it doesn't make any freaking sense in the world. But then again, they couldn't stop the puck from going in too, so they need a D-man. But when you look at the overall fourth overall pick for number 75, I think he could have got more for Lucas, to be honest. I hate it, and I want to move on because I talked enough about this trade in many parties, and I don't like it. Don't like how it happened, and I don't want to say there's a trend starting somewhere, but I think there might be a trend starting. Here we are.
Okay. Cortez, I'll go to you. Anderson, you're getting to be talked to last, okay? Cortez, do you have any thoughts about this particular trade?
Yeah, I'm actually, other than the trend thing, which I could possibly agree with, I'm going to disagree with Sober in the sense of I actually think Shock wins this trade, and I'm going to explain why. I don't know what Ninja has for his signups, but
Goalie.
Let me
Everything
pull it
but
up.
goalie.
I'll confirm. Right
everything
now.
but goalie. Okay, so that's good with me. So the first thing we have to talk about is how Shock fucked up his draft and chose Lucas at number 4 when he could have gotten Lucas in the 3rd, 4th, whatever round he could get to there. It's no question. I don't mind being the media member that does it since Daly or Esso and all them aren't here anymore. I will absolutely trash it. Shock, I don't know what the fuck you're doing every time you captain. I don't know where your head is at. I don't know if you don't do research. I don't know if you know what you're doing. But I give you props. I think you won this trade. I think Ninja is a better defenseman than Lucas is a forward. I think Ninja can be a solid forward. I think Lucas probably has a beat in that category. So what I just don't get is why pick Lucas at number 4 if you're just going to end up trading him anyway. Like, what is the thought behind it? That's where I don't really get it.
And my problem, Cortez, with it is, so he takes Lucas off of forward, right? Who is he putting on forward?
Well, what's his current team lineup? I don't want to have to go look at the scoreboard to see where they played in their first series.
Nobody wants to go look at their lineup.
So their D should be Culinelli and Eric on D, with Shock and net. Zelo and Hockey Mike.
So it comes down to, is Ninja playing forward or is he playing defense?
That's what I'm saying.
So basically, it's either going to be Ninja or Culinelli playing forward or defense, basically. And then the rest of the line is
their goalie.
Shock is their goalie. He's the only one with goalie willing, to my understanding. And then, so if Shock's in net, then you have, I know EWTU Eric is a defenseman, so he's for sure on defense. Then you have either Ninja or Culinelli on defense. And then you have Zlo, Hockey Mike, Hi, my name is Ed, or one of the two that we just mentioned as the potential D-man as some form of a forward line.
Well, Ed's underrated.
What was that, Sober?
Zelo of goalie.
Let me check.
I don't think he does.
I'll confirm, but I don't think so either.
So Zelo has 6 games played, 6 points, 6 apples, 0 genomes.
I don't think he plays. I think the defense stays the same, and I think Ninja's going to go in at forward. I don't know what this really does for the team. I know that you put Ninja at defense, that defensive line does better. I don't know Eric at all. I know Culinelli. Whatever. The team is. They must be the best of friends, or else. This is a team I would sincerely think about, hey, my Xbox blew up. I don't play Xbox anymore. I'm not kidding you. Like when Yam called out, like, who's the person that's going to be drafted by this person and no longer show up? If that would have been me, I would have shaved my mustache to be a little different, just claimed I was X Daily and came back on a different team. That's what I would have done. But yeah, get Dimitri going again. Like I was saying originally, I think Ninja's a better player. I don't get the trade, I guess. I think, again, if you just do who's better to better, Shock wins the trade because Ninja's better, but this hurts his team more because now he doesn't have a forward. But Sober's kind of trying to say there's this trend that's starting without saying it of
just say it.
If Lucas isn't happy, Lucas gets what he wants. His first season in the league, he was on my team with Dub and Rondon and Epic Sandwich. And I remember Dub just kind of gave him some advice one time saying, hey, don't go into the zone this way. Kind of look to change it up once in a while. And Lucas took it really to heart and asked to be sat because he didn't want to play with Dub anymore, which actually lasted a little while. And then I think the next season after that, he wasn't happy with the team he was on, so he requested to be traded, and he was. And I don't know if that's the situation will happen now. I mean, I don't blame him with that team.
And Shock got into the league.
What'd you say?
In Shock's team, he took Wolfmaster, which he dropped, and picked up Zelo.
Mm-hmm.
Zelo has forward only, by the way.
Okay. Then he had Hockey Mike, which was Shock's played with Hockey Mike for years and years. And then he had, Lucas. Like I said, he brought Lucas in. Freaking Eric, he's known since way back in the Moose. So to me, he drafted a bunch of guys that he just knew, since it was such a big league.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to take any risky players. But in theory, he ruined everything that he should have done early. Well, the whole Lucas thing at 4 was
okay.
Great.
So I'll talk on the trade then. I'll give you my take. I know we've had difference of opinions up to this point in time. Sober saying he thinks it's bad for Shock. Cortez saying the exact opposite. I'm going to tell you why I think Cortez is wrong. And we're all subject to our own opinions up here.
Of course.
But let me tell you, so I have his stats pulled up just so we're kind of clear. I told Clumsy Ninja before the season started, why are you taking goalie off? You're a good goalie. He's got 3 goals against average in net. He's played 70 games there. He's played a total of, 24 games out of net. In 24 games out of net, he has no goals, 5 assists, and he's had only 1 season in which that he's had more than he's had at least more than 1 point. Okay? So when I look at his setup, he's a good goalie. I firmly believe that. I've played with him in games where I've seen him in other positions. I don't think he's a defenseman. Now, it could have been I've seen him in games where he hasn't been that good. Okay? Shit, I mean, you see me on any given night, you're going to see a night where I fucking suck. All right? It happens. But for me, Lucas at least has done something in this league to the point where he's won a Rocket Richard. He knows how to put the puck in the net. He doesn't know a lick of fucking defense. He can't spell it worth shit. Okay? But he can score. He's a forward who can absolutely score. There's no denying that as an attribute for a forward is going to be key for a team. And if you look at the team that he's now been traded to, that's all he needs to do. He's got multiple guys on that team that are defensive-minded. You have C-Dub, who's a great defensive player. You have Anderson, great defensive player, right? I mean, who am I missing? I'm missing someone.
Young Buff.
You have Young Buff, right? Potential top Selkie.
Oh no, it's great.
Forward.
It's great for Anderson's team. I think the trade works perfect for them. When I'm saying like who won and lost, or who won and lost, I wasn't meaning like, one person got fleeced and the other one. I mean, Shock fucked up no matter what. Shock's going to lose this trade no matter what because
he traded the 4th pick in the draft for the 75th pick in the draft.
Yeah, but don't count it like that because Lucas isn't a 4th pick in the draft. Lucas is the 74th pick in the draft.
He's not though.
I think he is.
He's a 3rd round pick.
That's fair. That's okay. That's fair.
75th is in the 5th round.
Okay.
The last pick in the 5th round. So, I mean, even if he's a 3rd round pick, it's still he's getting fleeced.
I don't think Ninja's a 5th round pick either. At defense, I've seen him play. I think he's a not 3rd round. Apologies. I think he's a 2nd defenseman, if not 1st on a bad team. So, again, I think Lucas is a 3rd forward, if not 2nd on a bad team. I think they're both in the similar rating. That's what I'm trying to get at.
And that's fair. So we talk about with what Shock did and the fact of he drafted guys he's friends with. And you want to make sure it's working there. Him and Lucas are great friends. I'm friends with Lucas, right? I have no issues with Lucas. But the same thing, you have Shock drafted Wolfmaster, one of his best friends in the world, right? He drafted Lucas, a guy he's great friends with. Before week 1 is done, he has now traded Lucas and dropped Wolfmaster. So the whole plan of getting your guys and getting your friends to play on a team, first off, if you're a captain, don't fucking screw your season over because you want to play with your best bud. Make sure you draft a team that's actually playable. You don't want to go through a whole fucking season where you
get 1 or 2. You can't go.
You have 6 guys that hate their season and hate getting on to play each and every week because you don't want to draft or scout particular players to maybe figure out the draft pool. As a captain, that's your fucking responsibility, right? Obviously, it's not only on the captain. It's on the admins as well. It's on myself. It's on Pale. It's on Sniper. It's on all of us that decided on who to be the captains. And the fact that I think Pale said it best in his description and his power rankings, right? Where he's like, as an admin, we feel like we failed. Because it's kind of like what it feels like. We don't want to sit here and have to, now we're 3 or 4 different times on different shows where this topic has been brought up. But it's the sheer fact that we're bringing it up because it's blatantly obvious. So we're doing it because it's there. Okay? Do we have another storyline to talk about? By all means, we're going to keep discussing it. Shocking team, go out there. Prove me fucking wrong. Not like there's teams that are far ahead of you. My team has 2 points after 2 series. It's not like we're like bazooka points ahead, right? Yeah. You have no points after week 1. You can absolutely change that. Be smart. Figure out a line that actually works and get your team in a situation where you can be competitive. Don't be dumb and fucking play with some random shit. I'm just...
Couch real quickly.
It's tough.
What was your lineup last season when you guys won the championship? Because wasn't Lucas on your team?
No. So my lineup was left wing was Swizzy, center was Anderson part-time, and my backup center was Marine Mike. Right wing was Monster J, myself on left D, G.I. Joe on right D, and then Sniper in net.
So what teams was Lucas on last season? The Cub Scouts? Who were the Cub Scouts?
He was on... Was it last season? I think it was on Pale. And that's while you look up to confirm the numbers, I'll say this directly to Lucas, and if you're not watching now, somebody clip it and send it to him. All right? I love you. But don't be a fucking cuck. If you're on a team that's not good, play regardless of what the fucking team is. If your captain decides to trade you at some point, your captain trades you. If he doesn't, don't sit there and bitch and whine about not being on a good team. play, because guess what? You're not going to always be put in the best situation. You're going to be on teams if you play 5, 6, 7 seasons. At some point, you're going to be on a bad team. You make the best of a bad situation. That's what you got to do. Everyone has to do that. I don't care what player you are. If you're the best player in the league, if you're the worst player in the league, I don't care. If you're on a team, you play your team setup.
So what I wanted to touch up on, by the way, you said that perfect. Thank you, by the way. What I wanted to touch up on is when you've compared Ninja to Lucas with points, and kind of like what they've been doing with their teams they're on. I'm looking at Lucas's 3 seasons he's had in the league, and I'll actually 2 seasons because I won't count this one. The first season, his forward line was C-Dub, Rondon, and himself. That was the season he won the Rocket Richard. I'm just going to tell you, you have 2 of the best forwards that is in 239 right now. With the first person who was picked first overall with Rondon, which is substantial. He could have went anywhere in the top 10.
Dub went 3.
One of them. Yeah, and Dub was number 3. Again, another guy that can go anywhere in the top 5, I would say. So you have both those guys kind of running the offense, and that's where, again, like it kind of goes back to the point of what touched up on with Lucas, like how Dub had to kind of give him a conversation to say, hey, I think you could do this for your game to kind of change it up and work. I mean, he's had that kind of forward lineup. The next season afterwards, he's with Pale and Brick City and Figo. Brick and Figo might not be working so well on Regretsky's team right this second, but those are 2 players that have proven themselves in this league, let alone Pale is a great center as well. And he is somebody, whether, I want to, really say it or not, is a solid player. He can really play center well, whether he's playing both sides of the puck or he has to set up somebody, like he's good at it. So when I'm comparing that to when Ninja has been in the league since season 6, he took some time off in between. Most of his games are at goalie.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had really any chance to play out. I've just seen him firsthand play in LG, and I don't like to play the LG card because I think LG is full of people that are shit at the NHL level, AHL level, CHL, and there's good players mixed in all in between. But I've seen him play. And I think if Shotgun is going to give himself a chance to play out of net based on his LG stats, then I think Ninja should be able to too. I don't know whose name is DHS 15101.
I think that's Odd Guy.
Okay, so he said Ninja sucks on D. I'm going to tell you right now, Odd, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I know you do, that because you play defense for yourself. I've seen Ninja play. His style is a little different, but if you wanted the defensive defenseman who can also carry the puck up a little bit, he can make a little bit of space if he needs to. It's like, I don't want to compare him to BBX because I think BBX can carry the puck better, but defensive skills, I think Ninja's got it better. So it's really all depending on, again, what you're getting out of the player. But I don't know. I've said my piece. I've talked too much. This is your guys' show. My apology. I'm someone that's a huge advocate.
Blue Line King, you're a fine man. It's okay, Blue Line King. Don't worry about it, man.
You've made more visual appearances than Blue Line King has.
Well, I appreciate it. And I'm sorry. Blue Line King, be better. Anyway, I'm just a huge advocate on being properly assessed based on the talent you play around. Like, I'm someone that I played with D-Mart probably 4 or 5 seasons now. If people want to think I'm like more of a shitter because I play with a top player, then they are totally welcome to think I am. Like, I mean, I can't argue it at all. It's the same way if you are a good player, plays on a shit team, and you maybe don't get the recognition you deserve. That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
it's just how it happens. I want to make sure that, captains next season who draft, keep that shit in mind. When you do when we all do our media shows, we got to keep that shit in mind. So anyway, go Anderson. I know it's your guys' trade. By all means, I'll send it to you so you can finally
wrap us up, Anderson. What are your thoughts on the trade?
Hold on. Before Anderson,
sober.
No matter how you spin this, Anderson, it's not gonna make any sense.
I'm just going to try to speak facts here.
He's marking it as a trade regardless, so go ahead, Anderson, and speak your piece, or forever hold your fucking tongue.
So I made a trade. Do I think I won the trade? Yes, of course. Obviously, I wouldn't have fucking offered the trade if I didn't think it was beneficial for my team. So my team had no full-time experienced right winger. I saw that Lucas was put on the trade block. He was made available. Did not know for what reason why, whether he sucked, whether he whatever, blah, blah. All I know is I make my own opinions about players. I don't care what other people think. I've seen plenty enough people fail fucking spectacularly at their talent evaluation, and I trust my own better than I trust other people's at the end of the day. that's just kind of how it is. So I had seen Lucas play in many a series. I'd played with Lucas in many of 12's games. Never seen an issue with attitude. Never seen an issue with production on the ice. Always showed up, scored goals, multiple assists. Never saw an issue with him playing defense. So all the negative things that I heard about the guy, I had never seen personally playing with him. Since acquiring him, he's been in my party like every living second, or asking to join my party every living second, being active with the team, nothing but a good attitude. So for me personally, I don't really give a fuck what anybody else says. I acquired a pretty good player. I also gave up, in my opinion, a pretty good player. I mean, I see people ripping on Ninja, but I think that's a little bit of ignorance and just not seeing him play other positions. Like I said, obviously I won the trade. I'm not going to say I didn't win the trade. I won the trade. But I think Ninja was far more valuable than where I acquired him in the draft at the 75th pick. He is a player that, well, obviously he's a good goalie, but when he's playing out, which what he has available, is a player that moves the puck very quick. He sees the open man and moves it to him without hesitation, which when you're kind of one of those top-end players or where somebody thinks they're good, that's all you really fucking want from a player that, you know, is kind of whatever your second D-man or your third forward. You just want a guy who is a fucking brain and can move the puck around and is just kind of makes himself part of the team, right? And Ninja, at the very fucking least, does that. He's got a fucking brain on himself. At least he knows who's open. He moves the puck. He stays in his position. We played him a little bit of left D. He had, I'd say, I played him for like 8 games in left D. I'd say maybe he had 1 or 2 games where he was out to lunch, a couple penalties. In the other games, he was really solid. So I can see why he is, like Cortez says, you know, you can't put too much value into LG or whatever, but I can see why he would at least be at the AHL level as a defenseman. He's no slouch.
I think he's an owner, by the way. I could be wrong by saying that, but I think he's an owner in the A. I'm just saying he's got his experience there. I think that's what it was a couple seasons ago when I saw it.
But typically they don't let you have that sort of management position if you're just, you know, not at all at that quality. You know what I mean? Like they, for the most part, know as well who's good. For sure. We kept playing him at right wing though because we had Agent and Ninja at right wing. And he's not a goal scorer by any means, but he's a guy who's just going to set people up. He's going to put himself in that position, stay on his one-time side. He can play both hands. He can flip-flop back and forth across the ice. He's not going to score you the goals, but he's going to be the guy that, you know, you send him a pass over to his right wing, and he's going to make that extra pass to somebody who's open in front just because he's almost afraid to shoot. He's almost like a Nick de Greek, a poor man's Nick de Greek on right wing, basically. But
can we just stop for 1 second and appreciate Sober in the background just smoking right now?
Let's switch over to Sober. Let's just talk about Sober as a whole here. He's smoking out his back patio door. He's probably checking his grinder profile. And
hold on, stop for a second. Look at your stream. This Sober, I need you to take 1 step to your right.
No.
Just one step. That's all I need you to do. Just 1 step.
What, you want my...
No, you blend in completely with your curtains. Just do it.
Well, I was going to say that, but it's also, if you zoom it in just a tiny bit more than it does on stream right now, you have C-Dub21's Xbox avatar. Zoomed in crotch. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I hate you for actually being right, to be honest.
Anderson, I know I was going to say you play with that fuck as much as I do. You've seen that picture on NHL 1,000,007 times.
Indeed.
Anyway, sorry, Kelchi. Go ahead. My bad. I thought that was just funny.
No, I'm all for it. So Anderson, you want to wrap up your segment to your trade?
No, that's pretty much all I really had. I was just saying. I think I won the trade. It benefited my team. Hopefully, it benefited his. But
you made the right move.
I didn't. It's not like I acquired a full-time winger who's scored a shit ton of goals in 239, and I have a super defensive team. Like, for example, game 2, he went out and he scored 5 goals for us. That's exactly what I traded for. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
As long as you didn't trade for defensive purposes, because he doesn't play any.
Yeah, but I got me, Dub, Guyman, SBDR. We're all defensive minded. I just need a guy who.
Well, then he definitely got traded to the right team. Like
with little blast, he's a disc
friend.
In the back of the
I
net.
play with him in multiple games. There's 2 things he doesn't do well. He doesn't know how to play defense, and he sucks at Call of Duty.
Sucks. What? I should say he's a Call of Duty friend. He's gonna be in our party, so you better watch your fucking mouth, because he's a COD friend now. So
I will kindly not say anything about his Call of Duty skills, and I'll let you make your own determination on your own.
I mean, do you want me to talk about yours?
I mean, we can go there because that's something I'll get into a heated debate, but we're not here for that for 239 purposes. By the way, if you'd like to catch me outside of this game, by all means, let's play some COD.
Yeah, hit us up in the COD channel, folks.
Me and Anderson will need new people to play with regularly, whether we're playing trios, which is definitely better than quads. Want to point that out for anyone. But back to the topic of 239, because that's what we should talk about here. Thanks for getting me sidetracked, you dick.
I'm drunk and high. Couch.
You made the right trade, Anderson. I wasn't meaning you lost it when I first said it. It made a lot of sense.
It makes
for
sense
you.
for your team for sure.
I don't blame you. That was the right move. Same thing for your Monster J trade in the draft. It was the right move. No matter what, it was the right move.
So what I want to talk about though is this. We've talked about the trade. We've got that settled. But one thing I want to do is make sure, and I put it at the end of the little post I made for our show. Okay, and I had the whole 13 reasons why. No pun intended for me being the 13th pick in the draft. I just thought about that, so fuck me. But 13 reasons why Tricky HG, also known as Shock. Are you fucking taking your goddamn meds?
Welcome to your tape. This is your tape.
Because Jesus fucking Christ. Like, you are a great fucking dude. I love you. I pop in your streams even when you're playing some fucking game. I have no fucking clue what it is. Just to say a word or two here or there. Just to give you some viewership for even a short period of time if I'm on lunch or whatever. I don't care. You're a great human being. But your decision making as a general manager or as an owner, however you want to word it, is at this point in time about as piss poor as 239 has ever seen. And you need to fix that shit. Starting right now, starting going into week 2. Whatever that means that you can do to fix it. I want you to do your best to make the best out of this particular season, because come draft night, you done fucked up. And you not only done fucked up, but you then done fucked up some more after the draft.
Listen, this team might actually be worse than the Devils or Daly's rejects. And I just want to point out that team was all people that were undrafted in like a 13 or 14 team season that were literally just put together on a team.
No, to be honest, Cortez, with that team should have been, like, they had a couple players.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like, for instance, Jelly was one of them.
And Viper was the other one, right? But somehow Jelly traded himself off the team.
to the Victoria's Secret and then goes and wins a fucking cup.
Right.
Yes.
However that happened, but that did happen.
And I think, what was his name? The goalie there, NJ Devil or something like that. He was phenomenal. The only reason they had any chance at all, and they got Rule 1 because he was so tired of getting lit up every fucking game. Yep. Listen, I think it was uplifted, but if there's anybody in this league that deserves to be like reversed Rule 1, it's him. And I think it was already reverse lifted. But
pause. Fucking pause. Okay? So
resume.
Let me just say it like this, and this is the way I'm doing it, okay? So we talk about Shock's team, and I'm ripping them, and I know it, and I apologize if you're offended right now, but get used to it. So this team that he currently has, as of draft night, might have been his worst team he's ever had. It's after the trade just recent. I still feel that it's the worst team he's ever had. And now when I say this is coming from a guy that I'm talking about who one season won one fucking game. Season 10. He went 1-22-1.
Yep.
Two of his starters have never been drafted as forwards.
I'm just saying. Jesus fucking Christ. This is bad.
Listen, if he made the mistake like he did, I won't say like he did last season. It was like 2 seasons ago where we had the Bags of Dicks bidding system, and he took Cosmic part-time at either like 30 or 40 something. I can't remember what. As a captain, that's a mistake you can make. Like, you can kind of get away with saying, it's Cosmic EA, I'm going to go in on it, I'm going to find out a way to get this player and see how it works out. And I don't think they made it to playoffs, but they just missed it. So at least as a captain, you could say, I tried. But
the Sea-Doo part?
Yes, and then the season, he takes Sea-Doo at like number 4, number 5, and then he's like, I didn't know she had defense on. But he's like, I knew the whole time. I knew she didn't have defense on, but I took her anyway. Bullshit. Even Chelsea said bullshit.
I'm about to say, there's nothing I can say about that one. I felt for Chelsea that season.
We all love Chelsea. I was gonna say we all felt for her so bad because she's just like, there's no fucking way he doesn't realize I don't have forward on or I don't have defense on. Sorry. Listen, I know I'm riding Shock too. Shock, you're a great guy. Easy said, you stream. You're a great streamer as well. You're really committed to what you do. We're sorry we're ripping on you, but we need you to literally get your own head out of your own ass.
But hey,
and
the one thing I will say on top of this, since we're ripping them so hard, if people have a problem playing for them, be a fucking captain.
That's yes.
Captain.
Yeah. Fair.
I wouldn't put any blame on the admins. No blame is on the admins there.
Obviously, we're changing the way the league works because we're letting 2 part-timers be a captain as a whole. So there's options out there to make things work. So if people don't want to wind up on certain teams, then be a fucking captain.
Yeah.
Well, I will. I
just
said,
fucking practice. Just practice. If you practice enough, you can overcome whatever deficits you have. Build some chemistry. Get on the same fucking page. It's not all that difficult.
And I did say it's not on the admins at all. The only part that's on the admins is like letting him saying yes to him in the first place. But that was also a completely different time than it was, like 2 or 3 days before the draft even started, where there was an additional 30 or 40 signups or whatever. Kelch will know the number.
Yeah, I think it was like 43 or something.
Yeah, so the whole season changed in that moment. So he was already a captain before that. So I'll give him a little leeway.
When that shit was going on, I was like, "What the hell is happening?" To me, it seemed like we're forcing the issue to get as many teams as we possibly could this season.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm all right with the idea of having waivers. Well, for me, I'm all right with the idea of having waivers and having people that are undrafted, so it makes teams better. Like I mean,
we had enough for another team.
Well, that's my point though. Is like for me, I get we want to make sure everybody plays, and that's totally fine. But I also miss the old days of 239 when your fifth skater still had thumbs and knew what he was doing or she was doing. I would say, I mean, we never had a she in this league that's been that bad, other than Kindly Kinky or whatever her name was. Don't ever come back, please. But she stayed in net, so I'll give her a little leeway. I mean, as in, like, you can get any 239 veteran to agree that I joined at season 4. Season 4, you put up any season 4 239 team against a top LG NHL team. That was a game that was even and going to overtime. You try doing that nowadays, maybe the top 239 team can compete, but you get through 8 teams, it's not happening. Like, and that's where
I would argue that's drawing at the top. I know there's been teams at the top of 239 in the last at least 5 seasons that have smacked the shit out of top lines in LG.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was going to say, like, the few top teams could, but back in the day, I'll just go season 5. You pick the number.
Are you saying like the mid to bottom teams could?
Okay. There was so much parity within 239 that it worked out really well, but there was so much parity in the whole league itself with the talent pool that it could compete against the best out of other leagues. So, like, that was what was cool about it. But you don't really get. This might be a season we're closest to that.
There's some fucking good teams this season, man.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm just saying. No, if you get rid of the one team that it's Shock's team. You just get rid of Shock's team. Those players now are more spread out through at least 6 other teams, and that means 6 other teams get even better now because they have a person who should be the caliber of a starting player. But that's the league. You're gonna have to deal with what happens and how it plays out. That is what it is. That's just me personally. It's an opinion thing. You know what I mean?
Almost no matter what you have for talent, there's always going to be those 2, 3 teams at the bottom. Like,
of course,
it's just what it is, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's all sports.
Yeah,
someone's got to be the Detroit Red Wings.
But everybody, there was a gripe in this league before when we had more teams saying that the talent pool is too spread out. That's what killed parity was the talent pool is too spread. Right?
When did we have that?
That was one of our last big seasons.
I think people rip on Snake, but Snake helps that. Like I was bidding, top players would have fleeced. The top players would have fleeced some people.
Right. Absolutely. That's why I was happy this season when I went back to Snake, was because I was like, with some of the captains that we have and everything. It it takes that advantage out. When you do the bidding draft, right, and you have, I don't want to say it, but there's like 5 captains out there that are top tier, right? And then you have the lower tier. Well, the lower tier already loses out because they're bidding against people that already have a player of a capability on their squad. Now you take that same player and say luck of the draw, that player gets the 4th overall pick, right? Doesn't fuck it up. Takes what would have been the 4th overall pick in anybody else's draft, and now that player has not an edge, but is on an even keel with the other team.
Yeah.
Just imagine Shock takes Dolly or Jelly at 4. Just like regardless of who should go at 4.
Surprise me.
No, I'm just saying regardless.
There's other choices.
No, that was my point. Is like you have people that are proven talents that can actually help carry your team. Whether they're going to or not, they can help. They might be miserable, but at least you've done your part as a captain now to put your team in the best spot possible to win.
Couldn't have said it.
And that's where I'm so flabbergasted by it. It doesn't matter who's taking it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's what you do for your team to make your team the best possible. It's the same reason Dan took B Cripes at first. Like it made sense for him. So it's like
he had PTSD from 3 seasons prior of his goalie not making a save.
Yeah. Oh, he has. Okay, and look, I can't knock on what you're saying when it comes to why y'all prefer the snake draft. I personally am on the opposite side of the spectrum, okay? And in a certain way, let me kind of clarify that. So when it comes to how it appears to affect captain's decision making when it's an auction draft, if you are a lower tier captain, okay, so you're not that elite captain. I was a captain last season. I am not elite, okay? But why was I able to succeed? 1, because I have a fucking brain and not stupid as fuck, right? And you know how to monetize what you're putting towards people.
We're still studying that, by the way, if he has a brain.
No, he does. You just can't see shit. You just can't see anything.
These are true, okay? So, I mean, that's an honest fact. Like, when it comes to if you're not the elite category captain, an auction draft technically is going to be your best friend because you can still build a team that is going to work for you. Whereas in a snake draft, 1, you feel like you are almost destined to where you have to make certain trades to get a higher end talent player or 2, right? To kind of give you that little bit of a boost. If you just take whatever draft picks you have, such as like the DMAR route where he doesn't trade because no trade is fair for him, right?
I got a perfect argument for you, Coach.
No, and that's fine. I'll let you get there, but hear me out, okay? Mm-hmm. Because if you just take your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and you just draft 1 pick each round as expected, right? Your team as a whole is overall not going to be as strong as a captain that is himself a 1st round pick. Okay? Yep. So that's why in the snake draft you can see captains do stupid trades pre-draft, right? Or you can see teams look a little off-kiltered. Now, obviously not as off-kiltered as Shock's team does right now. That's just fucked, right? But I mean, you can see this happen from time to time. Whereas the auction draft, and I get a point where you can say in an auction draft, the top-end guy can go out there and spend $50 or 50 bods on a top player and then have 2 top-end guys, and that's perfectly fine. But then the rest of their team, look at Pale and his setup each and some few seasons back or whatever when he did the same thing where he got himself a goalie and what he get, like B Crips and Daly or something like that, and then the rest of the team was just a big fucking shit show, right? I mean, the same thing happens, okay? You got to be able to monetize where you're putting people and understand how to value guys. That is the hardest thing for an auction draft is, 1, knowing the draft pool and then valuing guys appropriately. We've had people like Amazing Viper. Amazing Viper, a lot of people get along with him. Is he a good forward? Yes, he is. Is he worth 40 bods? Absolutely not, right? There's guys that just go overpriced, and there's guys that go under fucking priced that, like, there's no means for it. And then you see those teams generally play really well. Look at Young Buffalo last season. I think he went for 15 bag of dicks. That guy should have been at least 25.
Well, right? Something you see with the bod drafts is it's always the beginning of the draft where people spend a lot more money, and then it's towards the end everybody kind of like sucks it in a little bit.
You're kind of bargain buying at that point towards later in the draft. But one thing, and this is something I do like about auction drafts though, is that at least it lowers the opportunity for potential like traps mid-season because you have a bod value for players.
See, but I also prefer like the non-trade shit because, like, for instance, like, let's just use the trade that just happened now. Imagine if we had a BOD value where Shock would have went and traded for Lucas or bought Lucas in the auction draft for 30 BOD. Let's just say he spent that. Okay, I think he probably would have spent more. Now he wants to trade for any player. No captain in their right fucking mind is trading a player that has 30 BOD value for McLucas. Now, this is where it gives the league a chance to actually make some shit work. Trade worked out for both teams. That, like, the whole trade value of BOD, I get it's for the traits, but like, even one trade I did as a captain, the only trade I traded Swagger and Elliotism for Brick City. That was two players that Jelly needed for his team. He had a forward that needed to score and a defenseman that could keep the puck out, and I got an elite player. So we did a 2-for-1, two decent for a great. I thought that was a good idea. Now, you use that BOD value. Like, I would have gotten Swag for, maybe around 20. That Elliotism guy I would have gotten for like 3. That still wouldn't add up to Brick at fucking 40 or whatever he would have probably been. So that's why I just don't like the BOD value stuff. And also, prime example in a snake draft is you can still get your guy just because captains are, and excuse the word, fucking idiotic.
I mean, Dolly said it himself. He thought he was going to Shock.
Him or Surprise Me. Honestly, if I had to choose between Dolly or Surprise Me to carry a team, I would choose Dolly because I think Dolly could do it better. I think Surprise Me just scores a lot, but not saying that in a bad way. He's good. I just think Dolly can really help carry a team. But okay. Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
Versatile.
That's fair. Okay, because I just looked at the clock and we are obviously running along. Okay, we have our last topic to discuss, and it's one I don't want to talk about a shit ton, but we got to talk about it because it's there. And whether you call him Donnie Drama or Drama Wood or however you want to word it, I know I saw a few different people have it, right? But I think Hollywood said that one, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. That's funny. But regardless, okay, we had a situation go down in the Dom Rev Hellcat series versus Croydon Knight. And people on Croydon's team, primarily G.I. Joe, Destro, felt like Donnie Wood, his teammate, was throwing games and called him on it. And obviously, so we're all on the same page. Admins have reviewed the tapes. We have determined that no, he was not throwing games. Okay, we do not feel like that. Did he maybe have his best series of all time? No. But that doesn't mean that he was throwing. Okay, regardless, no one likes to lose, and they were losing, so you can see why the tempers might flare up a little bit there. But I'm just going to pass this around. I know Anderson, so everyone knows, we call him Mr. Aidserson, and he is literally here for our chat box aids. Okay, so that's going to be like his primary talking point throughout the season when it comes to the face-off showings. So Anderson, go ahead, tell us about your chat box aids.
My chat box, well, I mean, the reason I got the name Mr. Aidserson is from Dom Silva himself. We played 3 games together, one series, I think, career, and we were getting spanked around. And eventually I gave my roommate my controller for 5 minutes, told him to cherry pick, and he skated around center ice. And so Dom tried to rule 1 me for 5 minutes. It was pretty funny. But anyway, so his team was involved in what this kind of shenanigans that were going on last night where Donnie Wood was accused of throwing the game. I watched about 5 minutes of the game and just watched their team getting spanked. So I was like, maybe he did, but I really didn't watch long enough of the game to really contemplate. Obviously, you and the rest of the admins watched the game and determined that he wasn't. All I know is his tempers can flare. People were kind of talking shit back and forth in the chat box. I know Jelly and Rev and Dom and kind of their whole team was giving it a little bit to G.I. Joe, our fucking brother from last season on our team, telling him that he was a big fat slow dummy. Basically, if I had to generalize it up and summarize it up, it was the other team, Rev and Dom's team, telling G.I. Joe that he was big, fat, slow, a little bit slow in the brain as well.
Kind of like Dom does, huh?
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know G.I. Joe, so G.I. Joe plays a 6'7", 260 or 270 pound defensive defenseman, whatever the max height and weight is. And he pretty much does nothing to you the entire way down the ice until you get anywhere near the slot or a dangerous area, then he smashes you into pretty much the stands. So it's pretty aggravating for a lot of people. So Jelly and them were making fun of him, talking shit. The ironic part, though, I will give G.I. Joe credit in this, was the very people, well, not all the people, but some, like Jelly, for example, was also picking G.I. Joe #1 overall in 12s about two days prior because he didn't want to play against G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe was just smashing the fucking shit out of him. So it's kind of funny how one night he sucks. One night he's the best player getting picked over like C-Dub, Cosmic, a bunch of like, whatever, quote unquote top players in the league. So it's just kind of funny how tempers can flare. And, it was some funny banter going on back and forth, some good chirps that were kind of heated in the moment. But I think at the end of the day, they'll get over it. There's kind of some mutual respect. They know each other are good. It's just one team's getting the better of the other. Some people not playing as well as they probably could have in a series, getting dunked on a few times and just looking a little bit shady while you're fired up. But at the end of the day, no throwing going on, some good chirps afterwards. And which is kind of encouraged here at 239. Don't be afraid to talk some shit as long as it's like, not over the top. No racist shit, no homophobic, that kind of stuff. Like basically your workplace rules. But don't be afraid to give the fellas and the ladies some fucking grief every once in a while. It's all in good fun. So. It's all good. There was some good chirps after the game there.
Sober, do you have anything for it?
The only thing I'll say is it looked bad because of the connection on the team that they're on and the player that was being called up for costing. Because the connection there, they had esports and all that shit. So it looked bad. 2 is you gotta know who you're playing with, right? When certain things aren't working right and people are getting frustrated because they're getting dummied on, that tends to change people's gameplay. And some people change in ways that it might appear as they're doing something that they're not. And the main culprit in this whole thing, I know when he gets frustrated, his gameplay changes. Either he starts taking penalties out of the blue or something happens. But it's not him saying, well, fuck this, and just laying down on ice and fucking whatever. He's still trying. It is just he's trying to almost do too much when he gets frustrated like that. And that's and 2 is his friends are dunking on him all the time. So no one wants to.
That's extra embarrassing.
What position was Johnny playing? Was he on Croydon's team?
He's on Croydon's team playing lefty.
Croydon's team. Yeah.
So I know the stats aren't in, but how did the games go?
Jelly.
It wasn't pretty.
So what were the scores roughly? Do we know?
Let me pull it up. I can confirm. Give me a second.
Were they like a lot to a little or close games?
I know one game specifically was not close at all.
Do we know if that was the beginning of the series or the end?
Like at least 4 goal difference each.
I know game 2 is game 3 was like 8-0.
Yeah.
So basically game 3 was the game
that was stats weren't entered, I think.
Yeah, that's the only one the stats aren't currently entered for, so I can't confirm the
It was ugly. Let's check. It was ugly.
It was close at the start and it got uglier as it went on. I think
it was like a 2-goal game in game 1, if I'm not mistaken, and then proceededly worse from there.
Yeah, it started off close and got worse.
What I will say is, I think one of you guys hit hit the nail on the head. When you're losing, you sometimes just kind of Dolly said it was 6-1, 8-0. In game 1 they lost in OT, like 5-4. So you lose game 1 in a heart wrenching way of 5-4. And you're like, shit, all right, we just competed, though. We can win the next game. And then you lose the next game 6-1. Yeah. Now you've already lost the series. You just got your ass kicked in game 2. So you're going to be a little bit like, for me, I'm someone that sometimes goes mute. It's not intentional. It's just more, Dom lost. Oh, so they won game 1.
Yeah, I thought it started off well and got worse as it went on.
Yeah.
Okay, so they won game 1.
Okay.
So they won game 1, went into game 2 a little confident, Dolly, probably. Thank you, Dolly. Yes, and lost 6-1. And then obviously that's part of it is going to be like a huge major setback. Now I don't know how quick in game 3 it became, a lot to nothing.
Yeah.
But, let's just say the score is 3-0. Now it turns 4-0. Your attitude's going to change a little bit. You're either one of those people that's like, all right, it's time to clutch the fuck up, or it's like, why the fuck am I on this team? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And obviously I get where people could see the connection that, Donnie Wood is great friends with, Dom and all of them. I don't think Donnie would intentionally cost games, but I do think don't say this is Donnie specifically. I do think there are players out there that obviously you're losing 4-0, 5-0. You're going to be you're not going to care as much about if you turn over a pass. You're not going to care as much that you as a lefty carry the puck up the ice and do a spin move to try to, carry the puck up and you lose it and it turns into a breakaway. Like,
you just had to put spin move in there, didn't you?
Well, I'm saying it because like I want to use me as the example. Like that's something I would try to do. If you're losing fucking 5-0 and it's game 3, I'm gonna be like, all right, clearly my forwards don't give a shit, or maybe like that's not the case. I don't fucking know. I'll be like, clearly whatever we're doing is not working.
That's what you're thinking at the time is the point. Like
exactly. So I don't think it's Donnie intentionally costing. I just think it could just be literally as simple as frustrated in the moment. Because Donnie obviously doesn't want to lose to them. Wouldn't Donnie want to fucking rub it in their face that he beat them? And it doesn't
lost. Donnie's a pretty kind of emotional guy too. Like
like it can happen to any of us. I don't think he intentionally would have cost. Unless Dom and I aren't even great friends, but I don't think they would ever set that up intentionally or anything like that either.
So my take is this though, because like I'm fine with just about everyone like involved in the scenario. I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. Obviously, he was my D partner last season. Love the guy. He doesn't talk a bunch of stuff, right? He's not like a guy that's going to be in your party blowing up the mic, right? But he'll say what's needed to be said. He'll keep things straightforward, and he's going to tell it how he feels, whether he's wrong or right. Right? He
fucks me up on
respect that. By the way. That's my style.
And as a captain last season, for instance, like I was okay. Just fucking tell me, like, be honest, and we'll work through shit, right? So that's okay. But same side, obviously, I get why once being accused of something, and now obviously, Rev, Dom, that whole squad, right? Obviously, they went to Donnie Wood's defense there, as that's their good friend. But I get why the drama started. But one thing I loved about this whole thing is, one, I looked at my phone and I had 300 plus fucking messages on Discord. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I was in the middle of a fucking game. Like, there's no way I'm catching up to this anytime soon, right? So it took me a while to finally get caught up. But by the time I did, my favorite, we have a good catchphrase, at least early on in the season, and that is that I am jelly. So I expect an I am jelly shirt going around soon. Whoever's going to get on top of making custom shirts, get on top of that soon, because I want one. Anderson apparently didn't catch that joke, and I told it to him in our Discord chat for the show, and I was like, I am jelly, and he goes, not exactly close, buddy. And I was like, no, dickhead, it's the running joke, you fucking idiot. And he was like, let me read the Discord channel, give me a sec. And I was like, come on, man. But I
have it on mute. It's way too active. I'm like, holy fuck, too many notifications.
I have the Discord. I literally have every single Discord I am in muted because fuck that.
So
yeah, it's quite.
I try to keep up, but I miss for an hour or two or something, I guess.
I still hate the fact that you can't leave freaking specific channels. You have to leave the whole server or nothing.
No, you can mute though. You can mute those specific channels, so you don't have to deal with them.
Yeah,
you know how fast.
But then you can hide them.
Do you know how fast I muted the sports betting fucking channel? I muted that so goddamn fast. I was just like,
yeah, that's so useless channel. Somebody delete that shit.
Sober. Yeah. So what you can do is when you're on Discord, when you mute the channel, you can then in the server hide all muted channels so they don't even exist anymore to you.
Oh, I didn't know that. I should do that.
I didn't know that either, actually. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, like no problem. I mean, I'll have to figure it out again. I just keep all of it because it doesn't bother me anymore that they all pop up.
Yeah.
So tell me how to do that again, because when I did it, it just grazed out the freaking.
I'll teach you after. We'll do it after.
Yeah.
Right. Oh well, hey, real quick, sure.
Well, Hollywood just released a card for Brick, by the way, game in 90 overall.
Oh,
just now, put it in.
Oh. Me and Brick, same overall. That's fair.
If Brick was in, you'd be like, yo, hold this real quick.
Let's just hand it over to you.
I should be a 99. I should be a 99, Brick would say.
Here you guys go. Look at my ball when I go fucking smoking it.
I was about to say balls. I was like, no, I'm good.
Are you sure?
I am sure. Well, here, aren't we probably gonna send it around here and then
I'm
probably
about to say sober. Before you go smoke, let's end the show on a high note of Brick being the 90 overall player card. That's awesome. But all right, we get left with a bouncing ball. Okay, so Cortez, you're not technically on the show, but you're on the show today. You're Blue Line King 2.0. So I'll send it to you first, buddy.
Well, if I'm gonna be Blue Line King, I'll go back. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for letting me come on. I just wanted to hop out. Yeah, the whole cleared the throat. Oh, E-Sober Elitist. All right. Oh, sorry. The S-Sober Elitist. I always realized I said that wrong until I listened to the 239 promo video the other day, and it's S-O literally starting out by saying, welcome to the S-Sober Elitist. And I'm like, I've been calling that shit the E-Sober Elitist the entire time I've been in the league.
So I was right now years old when I found out that's how they actually say it. So
when you look at it, obviously it's like saying E-Sober Elitist because his name's Sober, and then it's like E-Sober. Like I never even put two and two together that it's S-O and Sober together, and it makes S-Sober Elitist. I never in my life, like I knew that's what the two words together were for, but I just thought it was called the E-Sober Show, so I was like, all right, bet. But anyway,
I feel dumb again. Okay, good.
Thank you for letting me come on the show. Thanks for letting me rant about whatever I ranted about. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for doing your media. Thank you for doing your shows. And remember, Series of the Week, I believe, is this Wednesday. I will get more information. It will be streamed on 239's Twitch channel, not on mine. I think every single Series of the Week should be. I think every media show should be. Wink, wink at the media admin right here in the same call. And then that'll be Hollywood versus Monster J. That'll be Farbsy and I on the call. Hopefully we can do as well as Pale and Farbsy did on the first night. That was really awesome to see. They did a great job. Thank you guys for doing it. Flanny, thank you for doing the cards, or AKA Hansel Roberto. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And again, thank you guys for doing your media show. Thanks for allowing me to be on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. And Sober, mid-puff.
Hi.
You got anything for us on the way out, buddy?
We got to stop doing these 2-hour shows.
It's my fault. If I didn't join, you guys would have been done much sooner.
I'm down with blaming Cortez. That's fair.
I'll take the blame.
What the fuck else do people have to do? Like
dude, we're fucking quarantined.
Bro, we have NHL to play. I'm getting scouted for season 16. Come on.
Nice.
Me too.
My left winger's in this call, and I need to play with him.
I'm being asked to play goalie. Like, this is bullshit.
All right, my left winger who's playing goalie tonight, I need to play with him.
Okay, well, yeah.
And Kelch is also a goalie.
No, fuck you. I'm not a goalie. Jesus Christ.
Anderson, can I get a backup here?
You're definitely a goalie.
Y'all suck. I'm not a goalie.
Johnny Kling, clinging to them posts. Let me tell you right now.
Johnny Kling, as he taps his paddle back and forth on the fucking posts, Good luck.
Sometimes y'all say smart stuff, and then other times y'all just sound dumb. Right now is one of those times.
Where's your red cape?
I say smart stuff?
It's, you know what? That's a good point, Cortez. I got to end that.
No, don't go grab it because we gotta end this show. We gotta end this shit. Damn it. Anderson, you give us your sign off then, and then when he gets back, we'll.
I don't have much of a sign off. My sign off is Blue Line King 7. You're a little bitch. Get the fucking shows sometime. Kelch. Back to you, buddy. That's all I really had to say.
All right. I got the fucking cape on.
And the belt.
And the fucking belt.
Wait, hold on. Which one are you which one is yours scribed into? Is it the same one as mine, or is mine on the other side of the belt now?
So it's not yet there, but it will be on the one with you. So
you are now on the plaque of greatness, my friend. Welcome to it. Are you going to be the last one on it, or are you going to be like the second to last one?
You were 3 seasons ago, correct?
I was season 8. So
you're a long time ago.
A lot of seasons ago.
I was going to say that. I don't think you'll be on the same
East
one.
East High Wildcats is 8 years, or fucking
season 8.
What
yeah, season 8. Man.
14.
We're season 15.
So that's six seasons later. I won't even be on the same plaque as you.
Fucking pack it up, dude.
I'll be on my own fucking pack. Pack?
Your own pack?
Plaque. Jesus Christ.
Man, sponsored by tobacco.
Either way, continue. I got the cape on. I got the belt. 239, I fucking love you.
Give us your best daily impersonation to get off the show.
Hey, Kelch.
Oh, you want me just to retire?
Take a whiff of that belt.
Love you, Daily.
Hey,
Love you,
I
Daily.
see what you did there.
Hey,
We retired him. Don't ever let him.
I love you, Daily. Just know that if you ever watch this, on your busy schedule. But regardless, thank you for saving us, trying to get a coronavirus, remedy. We'll love to see it when it happens. 239, this is the Face Off. We will see you next time. Until then, later.